What is happening, Gothamites? Welcome back to the Nightwing 1 channel, and today we are talking Titans, Season 3. Is it good, or is it bad? Now, just so you know, there's going to be a ton of spoilers, because I'm going over 3 episodes in the course of the next, hour or so. For the most part, I would say that Titans Season 3 is off to a really good start, but it has some things I don't like about it. But we'll get into it. Because I live tweeted the show the other day, I actually have a handy little place to remember things, because my memory is not getting the sharpest over the, as years go on. Let's see, where are we going? So we're starting with episode 1, Barbara Gordon. And first and foremost, I just want to say the actress that played Babs, pretty cool. She's an amputee, so a lot of people are asking, at least me in DMs, why is Barbara missing a leg? Well, in this universe, Joker obviously cut it off, which is pretty gross. But the actress in real life, she suffered a accident, I think it was in 2016, and they had to remove her leg, and to save her life. So, and I'm glad they did, because she's a pretty cool Barbara Gordon. We don't really get many young Commissioner Gordons as Barbara, so that was kind of a nice change of pace. Usually when Babs becomes a commissioner, she's much older. So that was nice. So there's potential love triangle thing that can happen with Barbara later on, which is always good. So let's see, Tim Drake. We need to go back to the thread. Okay, here we go. Titans Season 3, Episode 1, Barbara Gordon. The whole thing centers around the death in the family, the very first episode, which I thought was actually pretty cool. They even mention in the 3-episode trilogy, or 3 episodes that are all interconnected, someone literally says a death in the family, which harkens back to the Death in the Family comic, and I was just like, wow, pretty sure Starfire did that, and that was pretty cool. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this that are actually pretty good, if you're a Batman fan. So Jason Todd is basically on the phone with Bruce, who, for whatever reason, isn't in Gotham, and Jason's been having a lot of problems. You also see him using drugs, or some type of drug that they can't identify. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the drug that he's using is something that he got from the Scarecrow. Like, Jonathan Crane is probably cooking up some pretty nasty chemicals, and maybe it's because of this reason that Jason ends up going the route he does. He's not really all there. We also see that he's suffering flashbacks from Season 2 when Deathstroke dropped him off the building, and of course Connor saved him and he almost died. So Jason has like some post-traumatic stress and trauma from falling off the building, and he hasn't really been active as Robin after his missing with the Titans, leaving them when Donna Troy died at the end of Season 2. Which, the way they were doing it, it looked like Jason was very angry with his girlfriend, Rose, and he was going to come back and basically be Red Hood. Everybody was trying to figure out, how in the world are you going to have Red Hood be one of the principal villains of Titans Season 3 if this is his angst of feeling betrayed? That's really not enough for him to go and do the stuff that he does in Season 3's opening stuff. So, I mean, he is the Red Hood out of the comics, but he's heavily twisted. And it might be because of his resurrection, but we don't even know if he died. But anyway, let's not skip around too much, because I know I like to do that. Starting with Episode 1, so Bruce and Jason get into an argument over the Joker. Apparently Joker's been on the lam for quite a while. Bruce is out of the city. They don't explain it. He could be on Justice League business. He could be on Bruce Wayne business. We don't know. They don't explain it. There's no context to why Bruce is not in Gotham. The important thing is Jason is home alone. Okay? And Bruce forbids him to go after the Joker. Jason knows where the Joker is. He's at Amusement Mile, which, again, Easter eggs for DC Comics, for the Arkham games. Amusement Mile is not a place you want to go to, because that's where one of the Joker's hideouts are, right? Very bad. Bruce tells Jay, stand down. Don't go. Don't do this. And Jason, Jason, he's kind of impetuous, impulsive. He's kind of a jerk. He doesn't listen to Bruce. He thinks, I'm Robin. I'm invincible. I can do this. I need to prove to Bruce that I can do this, which you don't know why. They add subtext to why Jason does what he does, because Bruce did something stupid. And pushes Jason to do something even stupider. So Jason takes a hit of whatever drug he's been using, which we'll probably figure out over the course of the show. I'm saying Scarecrow. I'm saying right now it's Scarecrow, and it's a mixture of Bane stuff, or might even be like Ra's al Ghul stuff. We don't know. But I'm just speculating that it's going to tie into the Scarecrow and probably some other Gotham villains that will just get name drops. There's been a lot of name drops for Gotham villains in this series, but yeah. So Jason goes to Amusement Mile, doesn't listen, walks into the Joker's trap, and the Joker, off camera and in the shadows, some actor playing the Joker, laughing, uses a crowbar and kills Jason. There's no bomb, no anything like that, just crowbar, and they kind of incorporated the Killing Joke. Or not the Killing Joke, sorry, Death in the Family. Zelda, what are you doing? Oh, sorry guys, we got another storm. Zelda, why don't you go to the basement, because I have work to do. Spooky storm, perfect. Perfect for Gotham stuff. I love when it rains. I love when it rains and there's thunder and there's lightning, because it's perfect for Batman stuff. So that's what's happening right now. We have another storm. 3 days in a row with storms now. Crazy, right? So Jason, killed by Joker, walks into the trap. That is how the opening of episode 1 starts. Barbara Gordon. And you're just like, whoa! And it's like, yes, that is a good opening. So Jason disobeys. Jason dies. Just like the comic. Got in a fight with Bruce. Well, no. He didn't get in a fight with Bruce. That's the thing. Bruce just told him, don't do this. It's very dumb. And Jason didn't listen. So that's what happened to Jason for not listening. When the intro is over, it comes back to Nightwing kicking all kinds of Gizmo bad guy butt, which, if you paid attention to the episode, they did mention that the Titans are fighting Gizmo, and Gizmo looks like a stoner with a weird beard and glasses. He's not like the Gizmo you know from the Titans show. But it was nice to see Gizmo. He is a Titans villain. So Gizmo and his cronies are being attacked by Nightwing and company. They don't tell you why they are. The Titans are very active. They're beating up a bunch of people. The media loves them. They're media darlings in a sense. And it was a cool opening to see the Titans again. For the most part, Nightwing fights. He doesn't really quip. He smiles a little bit when guys are trying to attack him, because, I mean, they're not in Nightwing's league at all, like these bad guys. So that was cool to see. The choreography for the fights has gotten a lot better for this season because they have a bigger budget, because it's, you know, HBO Max. So much better choreography and fight sequences than last year when it was on, not the CW, when it was on DCU app thing. So we're getting there with some stuff. Beast Boy also got to fight a lot of guys Arkham style, which was great. Really like that. And we got to see the different Titans using their powers. Starfire's kind of using her powers a little bit more now, but she's still doing like the flame stuff, which I'm sure they'll explain that later on when she starts actually using star bolts and things like that. But her hair changed color to red briefly, and her eyes glowed green, which is good. And then Nightwing, when he was fighting a bigger enemy, he quipped. For the first time in a long time, as Nightwing, and as a playful-sounding Nightwing, meow, he quipped. And I was like, heck yes, that was great. So the Titans working together, as a team worked out really well. I enjoyed that. And Kitty has to go in the basement. So, 1 second. Don't do that. Yeah. Off we go to the basement adventure. Bye-bye. Alright. Now, if you guys didn't know this, the Beast Boy actor is actually a martial artist. So when we actually got to see Beast Boy fight this year, which was brief, it was pretty cool. So he was doing like all the stuff he did when he tried out for the role of Tim Drake for Ben Affleck. So there was a lot of parkour stuff. There was a lot of Arkham-style combat. Not so much Muay Thai, but a lot of mixed martial arts that he was doing. And it just shows that Ryan is a very, skilled martial artist. But you only got to see a little bit of it for like a second or two, and then he transformed into a beast, the tiger. Which, over the course of this series, he is going to get other transformations because HBO Max has a bigger budget. Before, You know, it was going to take a long time, or maybe like every season he would transform into a different animal. Over the course of this season, he's going to transform into a couple different animals. That's what the plan is, supposedly, and that's what they're hinting at in the show. Starfire's trying to teach Beast Boy to expand with his powers, because she believes he has the potential to transform into just about anything, to be a changeling, if you will. So that was a nice nod too, but I'm jumping all over the place. It's because I just put the cat away. So Nightwing and company take down Gizmo and his cronies, and they work together as a team, which was perfect. The Titans operate in California, where their base is in this show, just like the 80s New Teen Titans comics, but also they were in New York City, but they did hang out in California as well. They are renowned, unlike Season 2, where nobody really knows who the Titans are, so the media loves the Titans. The Titans are kind of like superstars. So in the past 3 months, when Season 2 ended, after the defeat of Deathstroke and the death of Donna Troy, they've been very busy. They've been getting a lot of attention and respect, and they've earned it, actually. So they're a lot more likable than Batman is, and that is a key point right there. So there's fun banter between Starfire and Dick Grayson after they finish the whole media thing. Dick Grayson is not around, even though he's the leader of the Titans. Whenever the media is around, he skedaddles, which is completely opposite than his comic books during the Chuck Dixon run and other things like that. And even when he became Batman, he would kind of stick around, explain to the media, because he wasn't Batman. But in this show, since he's very much like Batman, whenever the media or people are around, he disappears, which is fine. I mean, there have been Nightwings like that. Kind of the New 52 Nightwing was like that. But we're not quite at Chuck Dixon Nightwing for the show, and I don't think we ever will. There's a lot of angst and anger. This is kind of like Chris O'Donnell Nightwing mixed with probably the New 52. And I'm hoping for a little bit more DC Rebirth / Frontier Nightwing, but I don't see that happening. It almost feels like some of this is Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Nightwing, which is fine because that's what the Titans is based after. But my favorite version of Nightwing is the Chuck Dixon version. Same with Tim Drake. My favorite Tim Drake is pre-Flashpoint. I don't like the other ones. They've never been Tim Drake to me. But anyway, speaking of Tim Drake's introduction scene, he is a big Batman fanboy, so they get points for that. That is true to the comics. He works for his family's restaurant, so not true to the comics. They're doing things a little bit different. Tim is mixed race in this, so he speaks Chinese, which was cool to see. And he was reading about some Batman exploit on the newspaper when he was stopped by the police because he was out past curfew. Gotham City is not a place that you want to be out and about. I'm sure that they're going to use that for like racial stuff, but there's context to Gotham is a very dangerous city where people have been getting killed by a new serial killer that has been on the streets for quite a while, and people are not supposed to be out really late at night. Now, Tim works for his family's restaurant, which is a 24-hour delivery, which is awesome. I wish there was a 24-hour delivery Chinese place where I live, but it's not a thing. So that's why he's out and about. He explains to the officers. He bribes them with some Chinese food, which was cute. Tim Drake is not quite how they explained him to be. He's not really, at least from my first introduction of the character, he doesn't act like Tim Drake. The only thing that he acts about Tim Drake is he is a super, super Batman fan. On his bike, he's got like this giant bat symbol, which apparently the police are not big Batman fans, which is weird, considering they've let Batman run around for like 20 years in this Gotham, similar to Ben Affleck's. But they have the same respect of Batman as the people of the DCEU had with Batman before he fought Superman. Like, they're very wary of him. Ben Affleck was kind of going around branding people. The Bruce Wayne Batman in this universe is also very dark and very brutal. He doesn't kill people yet. Some things happen where that does finally happen and Batman goes a little batty. But the Gotham PD does not like Batman. So they tell Tim Drake to get better heroes. And that's really the last we see of Tim. He goes back to his restaurant with his family. And then it moves on to a different scene. The family restaurant is kind of cute. His father is, of course, a different race than his mom. His mom's Chinese. And he has a cousin who I'm not really familiar with Tim Drake having a cousin, but it feels like his cousin is a bad egg. Like his cousin might be involved with the Triad or some type of mafia group. I'm not really sure, but he comes across to me, my first impression of the cousin is this is a bad kid that Tim needs to steer clear of. So Tim goes back, is hanging out with his parents, and then all of a sudden on the TV while he's sitting there eating his food, they announce, the Gotham News broadcasting company says, not Jason Todd, Robin was killed by the Joker tonight. And Tim's heart just like sinks because he's a huge fan of Batman and Robin, and now one of his heroes is dead, and his cousin is kind of making fun of the situation. So then we learn that, of course, Dick found out about what happened to Jason. He left the Titans. He came back to Gotham. And that actually happened during the scene where Starfire and Nightwing are having like some little banter together. And then he gets a little jealous when she's talking to her therapist. And, you know, the therapist has a thing for her. The therapist guy, he'll probably have a bigger role as the series goes on. He's a new character. I don't remember his name. I don't really care. He's some therapy guy who might be messing with Starfire. I'm not really sure. But Starfire, over the course of this show, starts acting crazy because she's getting like... it's possible that other Tamarans are trying to mess with her or something. But I really haven't figured out what's going on with that yet. It's... what Jeff Johns does with this show is you can't miss an episode because there are little puzzle pieces in each episode. I feel like in this season, they're doing it better than they did last year. Last year, they had like kind of a convoluted plot that he put together too many different pieces that almost you had to go back and watch the show several times to figure out what was going on with the Jericho and the Deathstroke and the Nightwing situation. It just wasn't really handled well. This time around, maybe because they have a better budget, or they're able to explain it better, or maybe people are just used to the way that Jeff Johns does his show because he's so busy with his Stargirl show. Is that it? Whatever. The pieces are coming into place a little bit easier this time. So, but the Starfire stuff is going to be confusing to people. I'm pretty sure that it's her sister trying to get a hold of her, or like impending danger or something. Or maybe she's remembering something about her time on Earth. I don't know. But she's doing that kind of freaky stuff. Whenever she looks at certain things, her eyes glow. It's weird. And all you need to know is Dick returns to Gotham, goes to speak with Batman at Wayne Manor, and Bruce Wayne is acting very aloof. Also, during this exchange in Wayne Manor, we learn that Alfred apparently is dead. And I just want to hold up the phone right now because that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to tell you why. This is a mistake that Jeff Johns is known for continuity errors. This is a big one. In the first season, which takes place 6 months ago, correct? Alfred texted Dick in the first season, and Alfred spoke to Dick over the phone in the first season. Now, you could say maybe they retconned the first season for the second season stuff, and the second season was really weird. First season, Dick was actually supposed to become Nightwing at the end. They moved all that stuff to the second season and had Deathstroke and all this other stuff. They also were supposed to have a cool fight with Trigon, but they didn't have the budget for it. But I've seen the storyboard stuff on a Titans website. So Trigon was supposed to have a bigger role than he did because he was easily defeated at the beginning of Season 2, which Trigon will be back. That's not the last of Trigon, I can assure you of that. But Dick definitely spoke to Alfred over the phone. Alfred is now dead, and it's only been 6 months later. So either they completely forgot about Alfred in the very first episode, which is very possible, but or they didn't want to cast another actor for Alfred because of the pandemic. I don't know, but Alfred is gone. And Bruce is acting much crazier than he did in Season 2. I thought Bruce was kind of like this weird Adam West, like older gentleman-esque guy in the Season 2. Now he feels like kind of like... what's a good explanation of this? Probably if Jack Nicholson was playing Batman instead of Keaton is what this gentleman plays Batman like. He is crazy, and I mean really batty. So this Bruce Wayne apparently does not deal with his grief well. When Alfred died, didn't say anything. When Barbara and Dick arrived for the funeral, which apparently happened before Jason was involved, which is impossible because Jason appeared in the very first season as Robin, and Nightwing talked to... I'm sorry, I can't let this go. Nightwing talked to Alfred when there was a new Robin. Okay? That's a problem that will never be addressed, and they completely forgot about it. This is why continuity is important, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because you look dumb later on. I'm going to catch you on it, okay? This was a big uh-oh. So anyway, we find out that Alfred, gone, and Bruce, Babs, don't talk to each other anymore. Also, Barbara holds Bruce responsible for the death of Commissioner Gordon at the hands of Mr. Freeze. Which is interesting. I'd never thought Mr. Freeze would actually kill someone. Also, every time I picture a live-action Mr. Freeze, unless they fix this, I picture Arnold. Take 2 of these, call me in the mornings. Yes, how's that, Commissioner? You like the deep freeze? Ha ha ha! Now you die because of heart attack. I'm so sorry. You know, picture Arnold as the Mr. Freeze character, because we really haven't seen a lot of the Gotham characters in this in live action. So when they say Victor Freeze was responsible for killing my father, I think of Arnold. Yes. So I mean, that moment was kind of ruined for me, and it was kind of like, wait, how did he die fighting Mr. Freeze? Oh, he got frozen and he had a heart attack. Okay, that's how Jim Gordon went out. All right, let's go with that. But anyway, again, I'm jumping ahead. So Dick and Bruce kind of having a heart-to-heart in the cave. Dick Grayson, just like in a Titan story, came back in the 80s comics to talk to Bruce in the Death in the Family thing, or A Lonely Place of Dying, one or the other. And he came back and he worked alongside Batman as Nightwing, and that's kind of where they're pulling from for this story. So Dick is there to act as kind of like Bruce's emotional support and to help him out during his grief, and also to prevent him from killing the Joker, which, again, is a key part of the Tim Drake storyline. And also Superman prevented Batman from killing the Joker. What they should have done is, because Batman was actually traveling the world looking for the Joker or something in the comic, and then ran into Joker and Superman had to stop him, things like that. This one is completely different. Bruce Wayne was away from Gotham. Jason went against orders to try to prove himself, was killed, and now Batman isn't hunting the Joker. He's not doing anything. Right now, he's in the first episode, he's not doing anything. He's just hanging out in the Batcave, and he's kind of, his mind is going. He's cleaning up the Robin suit because there's so much blood on it. He even mentions, I can't get all the blood off the costume. And Dick's like, you okay, Bruce? I mean, you're, down here by yourself. I know this place has been lonely since Alfred died. And it's like, okay, when did Alfred die? Because season 1, never mind. Not gonna do that again. Continuity. But yeah, Dick and Bruce trying to just hang out and talk normally, like an estranged father and son. Awkward scene. Bruce finishes tidying up Robin's suit, put it back together, and just kind of walks off and heads upstairs. Then you see the Titans on the other side of the state, back in California, so from Gotham to California. And the Titans, the older ones, are very annoyed that Jason died, because they were like, see, this is why, instructing Connor and Beast Boy and the younger Titan kids, because, the Titans are made up of older and younger people, which is a throwback to Titans in the 90s. Not so much the new Teen Titans, but the 90s version where Nightwing wasn't even a part of the team because he was back in Gotham during the whole Nightfall stuff. But anyway, not in too much comic booky stuff. So Starfire is lecturing Beast Boy and Connor over the death of Jason, saying that Jason died because it was his own fault, because he was impulsive and impetuous, and he didn't listen to orders, and you guys need to do better than him, even though you're great kids, but I don't want you to end up like Jason. So she's being kind of like a protective Titan mom. And then she starts to have weird flashbacks again, which, again, they'll explain it over the course of the show probably. So then the next scene, after that, Titan splaining moment, and the reason why they did this too, Jason Todd, pre-52, I don't know if he's ever done this in the new 52, because honestly, I don't really remember much about the new 52. It was kind of a blur. It's a blur, okay? A lot of the books were just meh. But pre-52, Jason Todd hated the Titans because the Titans did not care that Jason died. There was no memorial for him in Titans Tower, in the Hall of Fallen Titans, and that royally ticked Jason off. So when he met Tim Drake in Titans Tower and saw there was no Robin memorial, he tried to kill Tim Drake because he was so angry that the Titans did not care about him. Because Titans are a family, but they never accepted Jason. And this is true. In the original comics, there was no memorial for Jason Todd when he died. The only people affected by Jason's death were Batman and Dick Grayson, maybe Corey, because Dick left the Titans to go back to Gotham, and Corey and Donna and some other people were in charge of the Titans at that time. And then the Titan books took like a weird, thing. Also, the whole Raven and Nightwing wedding thing also was kind of a weird thing that happened either late 80s, early 90s. But, they did not give a memorial for Jason. So Jason's anger with the Titans in this mirrors his anger to the pre-52, which is the best incarnation of the Bat family. No argument. If you want really good Batman books with perfect characterization for Nightwing, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, then you have to go back to pre-52. Because the new 52 made Jason kind of like an anti-hero / hero-esque with issues. I always liked how Jason was portrayed as a dude who came back to life in the pre-52 and made more sense why he was a little crazy. Because of all the stuff that happened. First a reality punch and then the Lazarus pit. So I mean, he's broken, and it makes sense. So those are always, people ask me, what are your favorite versions of the characters? Pre-52, pre-Flashpoint, because I mean, those were characters we got to know for a very long time. Their stories made sense. There was a lot of tragedy involved with those. Whereas when the characters came back, everybody was an orphan but Tim Drake in the new 52. His parents were still alive. He put them somewhere. He didn't really suffer a lot of tragedy or trauma or anything like that. Whereas our Tim Drake from the 90s and the early 2000s, he went through the death of 2 friends, his parents, team members. He had his father disappear and head back in time like Bruce Wayne. So there was a lot of stuff going on in Tim's life. And the only tether to reality that he had from going completely batty was Stephanie. But of course, DC changed all that now. But that's a rant for another day. So, getting back to the old time stuff. So Babs and Dick talking about old times. We learn about her 10 years backer a little bit, and she's a little annoyed about what transpired between her and the Joker. And also she mentioned something like, well, if Joker wasn't around, then this wouldn't have happened again, motioning to what happened to her. Although it's pretty intense what happened to her. She's missing a leg, of course, because the actress is an amputee, but they really think like, whoa, Joker's like really psychotic in this universe because he messed up Batgirl real bad. Babs mentions that she liked Jason as Robin, thought he had a lot of potential, but didn't like the fact that, again, he was very impulsive. And also, she is very mad at Bruce for the Killing Joke incident, as well as the death of her father. So this is a former love interest of Dick Grayson, who's very angry at Bruce Wayne, and probably would have gotten along a lot better with Dick Grayson in the year 1 of the Titans show, where it was the Robin that hated Batman. So instead of going to Donna, I think it would have made more sense for Dick Grayson to visit Barbara in season 1 and Donna at the same time, because Barbara would have fueled his anger and Donna kind of would have helped ease him a little bit and bring back the Dick Grayson that people want to see. Barbara would have been kind of driving Dick crazy. So we find out again that Barbara is a little annoyed because there's a new serial killer in Gotham that they have no MO on. It's somebody new who's going around and whacking people. And they've been doing it for a couple weeks now. Now, this is important. You're going to need to remember this, because while Jason has been dead for 3 days, this new serial killer has been around in Gotham for about 2 weeks. Jason has been acting kind of crazy because of all the drugs he's taking beforehand. My thought, that I will share with all you guys, is that I think Jason has been Red Hood prior to him dying as Robin. I think that he has been out and about under coercion from all these drugs that he's taken, and that Red Hood is going to be a separate personality. That's what I'm really starting to believe based on some of the stuff we've seen and some of the things from the teaser from episode 4. So, yeah. And you could also say this goes back to the Titans season 2 show, but I'm not really sure. But again, they talk about the serial killer who's been around who's worse than the Joker and all these other people. And he's going by the name Red Hood. So then she also mentions the whole Mr. Freeze killed Gordon. But, of course, that happens at Bruce's house. So after they're talking about all the horrible stuff that's going on in Gotham as commissioner, and she asks him, oh, I see you on TV with the Titans and doing all this other stuff. Completely different than how we handle things here. And he begs Barbara, look, I know that there's something really wrong with Bruce. And she's like, well, there's lots of things really wrong with Bruce. And no, Dick's like, no. There's something really wrong this time. We both need to go talk to, Batman and get him to be completely okay so he doesn't do something stupid. That's what Dick is worried about. Dick is worried about Batman breaking. And Barbara is saying Batman can never break because Batman's insane. So they go back to Wayne Manor. They talk about old times. They talk about Alfred, which people deal with grief at different times, but sometimes at funerals, people, they like to talk about how a person's life was. They celebrate the life of the person. And then things end up getting either sad or people get angry, especially if there's alcohol involved. So Barbara is drinking a lot right now in Wayne Manor, talking about old times. They were talking about a time where the Mad Hatter and Jason were battling with Batman. And apparently she was doing the Oracle role, I guess. I don't know. But they mentioned how Jason was using a lot of F-bombs against the Mad Hatter. And the Mad Hatter was very confused because the Robin he remembered was a good kid. And Barbara was like, you remember what you told to Jason when you got back to the cave that really set him off? And Batman was like, I told him to watch his language. So they were doing both a Captain America throwback to the MCU as well as trying to keep the campy Batman and Robin stuff from the 60s show. And they laugh and laugh and laugh. And then Barbara, who, again, has been hitting the bottle quite a bit, she brings up the fact that her father was killed by Mr. Freeze, and then she starts to go into this tirade, all Karen-like, blaming Bruce for everything under the sun, which she's not wrong. Some of this is his fault. Guaranteed. He weaponizes these kids in this universe. He does not really take care of them, nor does he care about them other than Dick. And bad things happen. So she blames him for her father's death. She blames Jason. And this conversation gets in Bruce's head. But this isn't the breaking point for him for killing the Joker. No. This isn't what sets him off. His former best friend's daughter can rile his cages or whatever, but it's not enough. It's Dick's fault that Batman kills Joker. So after Batman has been literally berated by Barbara, who Dick has to escort out of Wayne Manor, Barbara says one thing to Bruce before she goes, and basically says that, it's a shame that Joker was still alive to kill Jason because of what happened to her. So first she complained about Jason being dead, then she complained about the Killing Joke, then she complained about her father being dead, and then she pours salt on the wound by telling Bruce that Joker was still alive and that's why Robin's dead. And this look that the Batman actor had was just chilling because it's like he had an epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I think they're right. The longer Joker's alive, more people could die. And which is an argument a lot of people have in the comics. Like, yeah, Batman, out of all his rogues, we're not asking you to kill Two-Face, not asking you to kill the Riddler, or any of those other people. Joker is the catalyst on everything. And, Bruce listens to this, but he doesn't do anything about this. Back in Dick Grayson's old room, where Jason Todd has been kind of hanging out, he took over Dick's room because, remember, this is a Robin that sees himself as a replacement and the better Robin, so of course he's going to steal Dick Grayson's room because that's the room that Dick Grayson had when he was Robin. So Jason has taken up shop in his room, and he has all these chemistry books lined all over the place. And Dick even is like, I don't really understand why he would have chemistry books because Jason's not that smart. I thought that was, the kid has been dead for like a few days, and Dick is just looking through this chemistry book. He understands it, but he's like, why would Jason be looking at this stuff? He wasn't smart. It's like, oh, poor Jason. So he goes down into the Batcave, and he analyzes the drugs that, Jason was using in his room. Because behind I don't remember, old stash that Dick had or something. Jason found that too. And apparently there were some type of weird drugs that it basically looks like Titan drug, or it looks like Bane's venom or something like that, but it has to be inhaled. Like, you have to breathe it in. That's that weird mask thing that Jason was wearing in the beginning of the episode. It's, I don't know, it's some type of weird drug that they'll probably talk about over the course of the season. Well, or maybe not the whole season. I think that the Red Hood arc is only going to last from episode 1 until episode 6, and then from 6 to 10, or 7 to 10, it'll be about Starfire and Blackfire. So the Jason Todd stuff is going to be wrapped up by probably episode 5, I would say, 5 or 6. He's not an entire series villain. Although he's supposed to get a spin-off, so I don't think he's going to die. But who knows? He could. I don't know. Maybe someone else could become Red Hood. But anyway, Dick is at the Bat computer, and he's trying to get the Bat computer, this is odd to me, okay? He puts in these substances that apparently Jason has been in this house using, right? The Bat computer is unable to determine what type of drug this is. And I want to say, hold it right there, because if anything on Earth could discover what this substance is, it's the Bat computer. The Bat computer is one of the best computers in the DC universe. There's no way that some type of drug that, we'll say, Scarecrow or Bane created in the show, the Bat computer would not be able to identify what is in that and what, how the substance interacts with the human body. You know? So I'm calling foul on that. So that's an objection that I have. Playing a lot of Ace Attorney, but just go with me here. While he's working on the Bat computer, Dick stumbles into a potential recruitment folder that he believes Jason accidentally discovered, and is the reason why Jason went after the Joker that night. Because Jason has not been performing well as Robin since he came back from battling Deathstroke, because he has PSTD right now. He has a fear of death, and he's not performing well as Robin. He hasn't really been out in the field. Batman's been solo, and Bruce is tired of dealing with him and just wants to let him go. This is an uncaring Batman that works for an R-rated HBO Max show, but it really ticks me off because Batman would never do this. Batman is cold-hearted, but he's not a monster. So, this Batman views his war on crime literally as a war on crime. It's Frank Miller stuff all over again. Robin is his lieutenant. This is why I hate All-Star, okay? I do not like All-Star Batman. Robin is more than just a lieutenant in Batman's army. He is much more than that. He is his son, for crying out loud. So the whole Tim Drake thing just really bothers me right now, because it goes back to the crazy stereotypes of the 1940s and pedophilia and all this other stuff between Batman and Robin. So this was a very stupid idea that DC just did. But that's a rant for another day. I'm going to stay chill. But the fact that this is an uncaring Batman just really ticks me off. And the fact that he has a list of children that he could warp all-star Batman-like is just very annoying. So, Easter eggs in this section are Robin recruits Duke Thomas, the Signal, Stephanie Brown, spoiler, Cassandra Cain, Orphan, or Batgirl, or whatever you want to call her, and a list of other important DC kids' names that had no relation to Batman characters that I remember, except I thought I saw Bluebird. I'd have to go back and watch again. It's a blink and you miss it moment. They go through like 5 or 6 teenage kids' profiles, and Duke was definitely among them, as was Cassie and Stephanie. And the Stephanie actress, she didn't look very good. But the fact that they showed Stephanie, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Stephanie and Tim Drake in HBO Max might be a possibility. Who knows? But they show Stephanie Brown. Dick is furious about this list of potential replacements. And then he accuses Bruce of all this other stuff, and he realizes that's what happened. That's why Jason was acting so weird. He stumbled upon this. He hasn't been doing very well as Robin because he's dealing with a lot of stuff. Dick sent Jason back to Gotham to get straightened out by Batman, his partner, his friend. And Bruce did nothing for the past 3 months except ignore Jason. He didn't help him at all. That is messed up. That is not how Jason died originally. Jason, his death is always his fault. It's not really Batman's fault. His actions, his attitude, his impulsiveness, his impatience. But this time, Jason's demise is because of Batman's uncaring, and that just does not sit well with me. But that's the route that they're going with this, is that this is a Batman that it's a war on crime, so all-star Batman, Frank Miller, all-star, crappy all-star Batman. And he sees everybody but Dick Grayson as just tools to be used, just like his Batarangs or Batgrapple or any of that other stuff. So, very annoying. Did not like that. Batman this season, again, he's insane. Don't like it. He and Dick have a huge fight when he comes back down because he's still kind of, his head is going, like the motions in his head after that outburst from Barbara just a few hours ago. So Bruce has just kind of been alone drinking, which again, alcohol. Alcohol is a big problem for both Barbara and Bruce in this episode. Even after Jason died, we saw that Bruce has been hitting the bottle, so he is dealing with grief. He's just not talking about it because Batman does not talk about his grief. That is something that Tim Drake is correct about pre-52. He doesn't do it. He keeps it all bottled up, and he tries to use the best of his energy to help other people as Batman. So with Alfred and other people gone in his life now, all he has is his alcohol. Even though Dick is home, he's not really paying attention to Dick either. Even though Dick tells Barbara, well, you know, we worked out our issues, and we're more or less getting along now. So she actually wasn't happy that Dick and Batman had worked things out because she hasn't forgiven Batman for her father and her leg. So that's also a crucial thing there. So anyway, in the Batcave, Dick is furious over the list of names of potential replacements, saying that all this stuff, all this file stuff that Batman was putting together and basically stalking these kids as potential recruits for, you know, his crime fighting club or whatever, Dick just berates Batman like hardcore about what happened and mentions the Joker again, the fact that Joker is sitting in Arkham, and, you know, how much is this going to go on? Or he loves the fact that it's Batman versus the Joker, I think is something that Dick says that just really... Dick was Batman's last tether of humanity, of faith, of compassion. And the fact that Dick is angry at him too, on top of everything else that's going on, and Jason being dead, that is the last lock that needs to be undone. And Batman just says, "You're right." And Dick is like, "What? You never say I'm right." And he's like, No. He says, You're absolutely right about the Joker. And Dick's like, huh, okay, well, I'm going to bed. That night, Batman goes into Arkham Asylum, uses the same crowbar that killed Jason Todd, and murders the Joker in his cell. Then he comes back to Wayne Manor, wakes Dick up, and he just drops the crowbar and says, "I'm done." He says, "I'm retired. Joker's not going to hurt anybody anymore. I failed this city. I failed my code. It's over. Batman is done. You need to be a better Batman than me." And then he vanishes, and that's the end of the episode. That was episode 1. And I kind of saw that twist coming, to be honest, because, I mean, Batman is a person that he has a lot of stress and anxiety and anger and rage. And that's kind of why he surrounds himself with these loving people like, you know, his sons and his friend and his butler, who's basically his surrogate dad. And all these people kind of keep him, like, not falling off that tightrope into the abyss, right? So, with these people gone from his life and thinking that Dick, the last person who he cares about, his son, the prodigal son who came home, tearing into him about the whole Joker situation again, when Barbara also said, "It's your fault because the Joker's been alive so long," he took all of that stuff, and he has no stop. There's no stop signs in his head anymore at this point, and he just does it. He just puts on the suit one last time, which we do not see. They should have shown this. I don't know why they didn't do this. The fact that they did this off camera is an injustice, because they showed Joker getting killed by Batman at the end of season 1 with stunt doubles. You're telling me they couldn't have a stunt double Batman in the suit, in Joker's cell, with Joker laughing and them smashing him with a crowbar? The fact that fans were robbed this scene is just annoying. But The argument is, the reason why they're saying this on the Titan forums is, well, I mean, this is a Titan show. It's like, is it? This season is all about Gotham. Why didn't they show this? Even if it was just stunt doubles and it was like just 5 seconds. I mean, so fans don't get to see it. Fans don't get to see Batgirl either. There's no Batgirl. It's just Barbara Gordon in her wheelchair. All in all, I thought episode 1 was pretty interesting. There's a lot of clues into how the show is going to progress based on this one episode. Jason using drugs, Batman vanishing. The Batman actor is coming back this season. He'll be back on episode 5, I believe, because he gets the message that Gar sends. But more on that later. And also, he sees what kind of person Jason has become because of his actions. But I think this is the final season that Batman is going to be involved in, because what he just did made Batman public enemy of Gotham. Even though, here's the thing, okay? In this universe, the DC heroes kill bad guys sometimes. Whether they're petty, like regular, bottom tier crooks, like muggers or whatever. Sometimes masks, as they're called in this world, they kill bad guys. You're telling me that because of one instance where everybody hated the Joker in this show, in Gotham, because of one instance where Bruce flies off the handle, everything he's worked for the past 20 years is gone, and Batman is public enemy number 1 in Gotham. That doesn't make sense to me, because Robin has hurt and probably killed police officers like Jason Todd. Why wasn't there a thing out against Batman when Jason was, doing the things that he did that Batman did not agree with, which is the reason why Robin was benched in season 1, is because I believe he killed a police officer. And also, like, he put several police officers in the hospital by breaking collarbones and other things. All this stuff stems from All-Star again, that they're using as an example for Robin. So Frank Miller's All-Star run. So Robin wasn't really out in the field much anyway. Not with Batman, because Batman refused to work with him because he didn't listen to him. And that's why he sent, in Season 2, Jason to be with Dick and the Titans, because he thought that Dick could straighten out Jason. And he tried, but Jason just has a lot of issues. Although I thought Season 2 handled Jason pretty good, to be honest. But that's just me. So let's move on to Episode 2, because Episode 2 is titled Red Hood, and it's actually pretty good. So the Red Hood second episode of Titans mirrors exactly the Red Hood under the Red Hood movie, animated movie, and the comic book, where Jason basically says, I'm in charge with Gotham's organized crime. So that famous scene that you're thinking of with the heads in the duffel bag, he does that. Except this one is grosser because they actually pull the heads out of the duffel bag. Again, this is a rated R show. So, yeah. But everybody knows that Batman has killed the Joker at the start of Episode 2. The Gotham police and the military are looking for him. And Bruce, after he vanished from Wayne Manor, hops his private jet and he disappears. We don't know where he goes. Doesn't matter. He told Dick to be the Batman now, which doesn't make any sense, because there's no way Dick could put on the suit, because Batman is now wanted. He is America's most wanted. You cannot be Batman. So the fact that he tells his son, be a better Batman, how is he going to put on the suit and be Batman now? He can't. So people are asking, are they going to do a battle for the cowl thing because there's no Batman anymore? No, I don't think so. In this show, you're not going to get a Batman anymore. You never really saw Batman other than the one time in Season 1 as a hallucination under Trigon. You've never actually seen Batman. You know he's active. You know there's a Superman in this world. But you're never going to see it happen. Most likely. And Dick, now, if he even tried to become Batman, like Batman Reborn, or during Batman Prodigal, where Nightwing assumed the role of Batman and worked with Tim Drake as his Robin. I think it was like 1994, 1993, whatever. Great comic run, because Dick Grayson actually has to put behind his demons of Two-Face, which Two-Face, way back in the day, was actually one of Dick Grayson's arch enemies, because Two-Face hated Robin. He hated everything Robin stood for. And for a while, DC Comics actually was trying to make Two-Face Robin's Joker, to, Joker to Batman, Two-Face to Robin. But then, of course, they changed all that later. And Slade, when he came more into the Bat books, has always been the archenemy of Nightwing and vice versa. But Slade was always in the Titan books until like probably the mid-90s, when he started to appear more in Chuck Dixon's run of Nightwing, and of course responsible for nuking Bloodhaven and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, Slade will always be cemented as Dick Grayson's archenemy. But anyway, that's a video for another time. So everybody knows that Batman right now is psycho. And people in Gotham, mainly the criminals, are kind of spooked. They're like, wait a second, Batman doesn't kill. Batman's been around 20 plus years doing everything. And the villains and Mafia are kind of like, something's not right here. The Bat doesn't kill. Something's going on. Maybe Gordon has like some type of like a hit squad going around, like often mob bosses or something. Because, the serial killer that's going around, again, this is a serial killer again, ties into this, is going around killing criminals. And you're kind of like, well, the only person who really apprehends criminals right now, these aren't innocent people that are being killed, by the way. This is like Long Halloween targeted mob hits, in a way, that Red Hood is doing. He's been killing criminals, basically. Doing Batman's job, just more lethal. So they're all conversing, like these different mob bosses, in a warehouse, trying to stay incognito. And a voice comes from the rafters after dropping the duffel bag with the heads on the table. And the voice says, "Open the bag." And people are like, who said that? And there's quiet. Nobody can see what's going on. They're looking up in the ceiling, trying to, see anything, anybody up there. And they just continue talking to themselves. And the voice says again, "Open the bag." And the mobsters are looking around. And one guy draws his gun and he's like, "I don't like this, boss." And then literally a few seconds later, instead of a batarang, a bullet goes right between the eyes of one of the like hitmen or whatever, one of the mobsters. And then people start to get spooked and they all draw their guns. And then Jason makes a pretty cool entrance. He takes out 2 more goons. And then he uses a bat grapple to drag another guy off the ground so he can come down. And he introduces himself. That was a cool scene. I like how Jason looks as Red Hood. He mentions to the Mafia people, he's like, "You're right, Batman didn't do this." He said, "Batman's retired, he's gone. I own Gotham now." So, again, when people heard this line, they were thinking, okay, they're doing the whole battle for the cowl thing. He also used that line in the Under the Red Hood stuff, so you need to remember that. So jot that down in your memory, don't forget that. He also did that during his introduction comic as Red Hood. He said he is Batman now. He owns it. Batman is a relic. Jason plans on running organized crime like his comic intro. But there's a big difference. While he says that he's going to get a cut of all their profits, he does not do something that is very true to Jason's character, which I didn't like. Jason, as Red Hood, is a bad guy, yes. But he has rules. His rules are, you don't harm women and children. In this universe, Jason is an equal opportunity serial killer. He will kill women and children too. I don't like that. I think that's stupid, and it would have been nice if they actually did a nod to the comic the right way, because what he's doing right now shows no difference between him and the mob bosses. Like, he's taking a cut of all their profits and he's acting as protection for them, so he's like running a protection racket. But he also said in the comic and in the movie that if you deal drugs to kids, I will kill you. You can go and you can do your stuff at this part of the town, but as soon as you start messing with women and kids, you're dead. That would have been a great scene to see. They just didn't do it, and that really annoys me. So that's another error that I had with this, like, in my mind. I was kind of like, that sucks, that's stupid you didn't do that, because now there's no difference between Jason and all the other bad guys. There needs to be differences between how Red Hood does stuff and how Batman does stuff. Because Red Hood is not completely evil. In this show, he's evil. In the comics, he wasn't. Even in the pre-52, where people are like, I didn't like the things that Jason did. It's like, well, Jason is not all there. He's like a jigsaw puzzle that's trying to reassemble his mind after him dying and coming back to life. Which, if happened, yeah, you'd be pretty screwed up in the head. Okay, so we got to give Jason the benefit of the doubt. This show leaves no benefit of the doubt. Jason is evil. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? All right, so Jason basically takes out a lot of the mob people, tells them, you're going to make a lot more money than you've ever did. I'm just going to take a 40% cut, and I'm going to keep the masks away from you. So his plan is the Titans are coming to Gotham. He's going to run the Titans out of ground, like out of town. Even though the Titans haven't arrived yet, they're still in San Francisco. He knows they're coming because Dick's in Gotham. He can feel it. He knows something's up, and they're going to need protection. So over in Washington, another part of the town, other part of the country, sorry, we're introduced to Hawk and Dove again. Although first we're introduced to Hank, and Hank has become a bicycle police officer. He has some, random scene where this bicycle cop is talking to him, trying to figure out where this guy came from because he's like super cop. Like everybody in the precinct has been talking to him, but nobody's ever heard of him before then. And they're like, well, where have you been? You've been Secret Service, you've been in the Army. And Hank is just kind of like, I was working somewhere that's above your pay grade, and I'm here now and I'm helping out. Of course, the only reason he's in Washington is because Dove's in Washington right now. So he's been there stalking her because he can't get over their breakup at the end of season 2. But he's doing really cool things as a bicycle cop, and it's a nice little scene. Nice introduction to seeing Dove again. And it's very different than how they led off season 2. One of the things that I had, and a lot of other people did at the end of last season, when they were doing a synopsis of the plans for season 3, there was going to be a love triangle between 4 characters. Dove, Barbara, and Starfire with Dick Grayson. Dove is not really going after Dick the way she was in season 2, especially after he became Nightwing. Starfire is kind of going after Dick, or maybe they're dating. It's a little muddy right now, I don't know. And right now it feels like the ex-girlfriend is not Dove, it's Barbara. And this is why Barbara should have been a part of the show beforehand, because they made Dove the Barbara role. And now that Barbara's in here and she's like back in Dick's life and he's thinking about Barbara again more romantically, it just doesn't make any sense, because that's the whole reason Dove had basically Barbara's origin, in a sense. Like, she was the girlfriend superhero of Robin, where in reality Batgirl was the girlfriend superhero of Robin. And she was! Batgirl and Robin happened! Dove and Robin happened! So Dick is a player, just like Bruce! He might even be two-timing, we don't know! But, yeah, so the whole Dove head over heels for Dick arc that they were teasing in season 2, that's gone. And they just threw that out the window. As well as intelligent Tim Drake synopsis that we had of a street kid, basically like a troubled kid. The only troubled kid in Tim's family right now is his cousin. His cousin is the troubled kid who's living on the streets basically in gangs. Tim's not a gangbanger, which is what we got. He was supposed to be living in some pretty shabby stuff. He's not. He lives in a Chinese restaurant with his family. Family are small business owners. And he is a very polite kid. He's not talking down to police officers or causing trouble. He's got a job. He's a good kid. Tim's nothing like the synopsis that was given out to the press 8 months ago. So, I mean, that also right there, you can see that the press likes, or not the press, you see how some of these websites like to spin people the wrong way, saying things like, oh, well, Tim Drake's going to be a thug, and it's because he lives on the streets and he's black. No! That's nothing like what the show is at all. He works at a Chinese restaurant. He's a delivery guy. He's not in trouble. He's not in a gang. He might not be very intelligent, but he's a Batman fan. So the stuff they said about Tim is already wrong. Already wrong. So make a note of that too. Media lies, okay? Learn that now, be happy later, okay? Media lies to people to drum up controversy when there's no controversy. Okay? All right. So anyway, Dick and Babs have a fun little moment back in Gotham where she's like, you can be a better Batman, so your father just basically leaves you the suit and then you just go right into his shoes. And he's like, yeah, who would do that, Barbara Gordon? Commissioner Barbara Gordon. So they had like this little moment because she literally filled her father's shoes because she's commissioner now. Her father was commissioner. He's supposed to be a better Batman. So yeah, little romantic banter. But that doesn't last because they're going to become frenemies as this series goes on. But they have a cute little moment. Titans come into Gotham and everything's spooky for them because they're used to happy California. And well, Gotham is supposed to be Jersey. So it's a dump. Sorry, Jersey. It's a dump. So the Titans move into Wayne Manor. They're all in awe about everything. There's a fun little scene in the Batcave where Connor and Beast Boy are both like, when do we get to see the Batmobile? Which they showed in season 1. When do we get to see the Batsuit? And Dick's like, no. There'll be time for that later. Right now, we need to start planning how to deal with this serial killer. And they're just asking all these, juvenile questions, which I would too. If I was in the Batcave, it'd be like, I want to see the Batmobile. How many Batmobiles are there? How many Batsuits? How many Batarangs? What year are the Batarangs? What type of criminology to use? Where's the Batsuits for when you need to go into space? How many vehicles do you have in the Batcave? So, I mean, all these questions are justified for teenagers to be asking, essentially, the old Robin. And I like that. I thought that was a fun little thing. But they could have shown the Batsuit and the Batmobile. The only thing that they have is the Robin suit on display, which doesn't make sense because they are right in the Batcave, in the center of the Batcave. One little Easter egg that I thought was interesting is that Batman's trophies are all holograms, which is weird. The T-Rex, the trophies from Batman's famous cases, they're all blue holograms. I don't know why. It's just maybe because he really donated them to the museum. I don't know. But it also goes back to that weird color scheme that they had when they first introduced the Batcave in Season 1. This weird, like, kind of neon blue look thing. So, yeah, the Batcave is mostly... The trophies are all holograms. The Batsuits, and you don't really know how big the cave is itself. Which is weird, because right near the Bat computer in Season 1 is where the Batsuit was. But in this one, because it's a Titan show... That's where the Robin suit is. I don't know. They don't want people to see Batman stuff in the show. Even though there's a giant bat on the floor and on the Bat computer itself. You're telling me they can't have the Bat suit in the vicinity of where the Titans are? In the main area of the cave? Come on. You even have the budget for it. Whatever. So, yeah, they're all awestruck about the Batcave. Even though it's basically the Nightwing cave now, because Nightwing has his stuff everywhere. He just moves in. He's just like, yeah, okay, it's the Nightwing cave now. Nightwing is now Gotham's new protector, and back at the GCPD, the famous bat signal is retired. Off camera. Well, no, not really off camera. It's kind of like off to the side. You can see like 3 guys putting stuff over it. Just really brief, so you know that they don't like Batman anymore, so they're going to cover up the bat signal. There is a strange woman that was arrested that needs to speak to Nightwing, and she's wearing a red hood. And she was arrested for blowing up 5 innocent people at the Gotham train station or bank. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, she's in there. She's reciting the Lord's Prayer. She has... this scene is kind of borrowed out of the Dark Knight Return. Borrowed out of the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight cell phone sequence with the guy in the cell phone in his tummy. When you call the number, something bad happens. So, Nightwing is interrogating the lady. He's trying to keep her calm, saying, we know that Red Hood took your kid, or this person who says it's Red Hood or whatever. Red Hood, they realize, is the alias that Joker used before he became the Joker. And they're trying to calm this lady down, and she's not saying anything. And then Nightwing sees that there's these weird numbers on her arm as kind of like this drug substance or some type of liquid is going up her arm. And he's able to read the numbers, and they call it. And then the lady starts freaking out. She's foaming at the mouth, saying all this kind of stuff, like she's in enormous pain. And Nightwing is like, turn it, stop, hang up. And these police, who are apparently so inept, they don't know how to hit the hang up button. And the lady stands up, she shrieks really loud, and she breaks her own neck and falls to the ground dead. And Nightwing is just like, F! Or, something like that. And it was a really weird scene, like especially showing how stupid the cops were. And Barbara's in the booth too, telling people to hang up the phone. It's like officers don't know to hang up a phone. There's even a button you could press on a cell phone. You can hang up in a split of a second. So the lady probably didn't even die, but they just wanted to do it for dramatic effect, I guess. So she just dies. She's part of the Red Hood gang or whatever. And then we find out that Red Hood has kidnapped a bunch of other people. After that really startling thing, and the strange woman is arrested, and that incident happened, Dick is out of the Nightwing costume and kind of strolling around Barbara Gordon, or rather Commissioner Gordon's office, and we get Easter eggs of both Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara. So again, my connection to the 60s Batman show, not only do you have a Batman that looks like Adam West and a Batman and Robin that kind of behaved like Adam West and Burt Ward, you also have Chief O'Hara, who apparently died a long time ago, but it literally looks like a Chief O'Hara character. And then next to that, you have Jim Gordon, Barbara, Bruce, and Dick in a picture. So that was a nice little Easter egg. They have a fun little moment again, Barbara and Dick like flirting, talking, and then she says something which really ticks him off and sets him off. She's like, well, we do have a consultant who can help us with drugs and stuff, but you're not going to like who it is. And Dick's like, I'm totally calm. Just tell me who it is. It's fine. I'll go talk to the guy. We'll figure something out. She's like, yeah, we kind of, the GCPD is working with Jonathan Crane. And he's like, Nani! So he's not cool with that. And he storms off and he goes to Arkham and he's like, you shouldn't be talking to an Arkham inmate. And it's just like, but you do shady stuff too. Barbara's, whatever. Where do you think you guys learned that from, Batman? So Dick, not happy, goes to Arkham to meet with the Scarecrow. Meanwhile, back at Wayne Manor, this is important, while Beast Boy and Connor, who are basically like Cyborg and Beast Boy from the Teen Titans show, having a moment, kind of hanging out, chilling, being bros, talking about Batman's vast book collection, we get a Superman name drop where Beast Boy's like, hey, Connor, since, Batman has all these books, what do you think the Fortress of Solitude is like? Connor's like, I don't even think a Fortress of Solitude exists. I don't even know if Superman has books. Maybe he has, like, animals or something? And then Beast Boy's like, wait a second. What are you doing eating on those books? Those are Batman's books. You're eating a cheeseburger over them. Why aren't you using a plate? I don't know. I figured there's so many of these books. So, that was kind of a fun moment. And then all of a sudden, Corey just comes in the room just like speaking like Joe Biden. And they're just like, Corey, are you okay? And it's just out of place. It's weird. It's something that's going to be happening. So they go in the kitchen and she's speaking backwards, all this weird stuff. Her eyes are flashing. It looks like she's having an aneurysm. And they're like, Corey, what's going on? She turns around, she goes all Starfire, and she tries to, like, blast him. And then Connor stands in front of it all cool, uses his, what do they call it? His ice breath. He puts out the fire, but the fire still manages to burn down some of the Wayne kitchen. And if Alfred was alive, Alfred would have dropped dead at that moment. And then she's like, oh my gosh, did we have a grease fire? And it's like, no, Corey, you kind of went all, ah. So yeah, that's what happened there. It's an interesting scene. Also, we get to see Starfire's eyes glow green again, which is happening a lot more, which is good, because Star's eyes are supposed to glow green, and her hair did glow red for like a split second, or a little bit longer this time. So yeah, they had that moment. Then she calls her psychiatrist in California, which I don't agree with this. Some people on some Titans forums are saying that the psychiatrist is actually a bad guy in the Titans. I don't know if he is or not. I'm not too familiar with the character. I think he's just a brand new character for the show to be a potential love interest because he has it really bad for Star, for Corey. And some people believe that the reason why she's having all these problems, two reasons. One, it's the psychiatrist doing something to her. Two, it's because Blackfire is coming to Earth. And as the Tamaranians are getting closer to Earth, she's freaking out. Because remember, this season is a season that's split into two arcs, Red Hood and Blackfire and Starfire. So Starfire stuff is not going to be until the end of the season, and then Season 4 will deal with intergalactic Titan hijinks, most likely. And maybe the return of Trigon. But anyway, she calls her psychiatrist. She says, like, could it be because of death in the family? Easter egg is the reason why I'm behaving the way I am. And he's like, well, blah, 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 blah. Don't really care. And then he's like, hey, if you ever come back to California, we could totally hook up. And she's like, well, I don't know, maybe. And then it goes to the Jonathan Crane and Dick Grayson meet up in Arkham. So this version of Jonathan Crane is a drug addict. He is either pretending to be a drug addict or he really is a drug addict. We don't know. But I'm pretty sure that Crane knows that Dick Grayson used to be Robin and he's Nightwing. I'm pretty sure he does. This is something that the Riddler would figure out, but Crane, they make really smart in this. He is a consultant for the GCPD, and they're using him, at least they think they're using Crane, to, find out about this serial killer. I have a theory, and I'm gonna stop this review right now, or recap or whatever. My theory is that because Batman was such a tool, that Jason knew that the Scarecrow was the consultant for the GCPD. Because remember, he knows about Barbara Gordon. He's been Robin for what, like 8 months? So he knows about Barbara. He knows about all the past. He knows about the original Robin. All that other stuff. So he would know that Scarecrow works for Batman and the GCPD. I think that he, as Jason Todd, went to meet with the Scarecrow a lot, especially when he had his post-traumatic stress, the incident with Deathstroke. And I think Scarecrow has putting things in his head and given him drugs that cause Jason to go bye-bye and create another split personality, like the Red Hood situation. I think Scarecrow is going to play a huge role in this show, other than just this cameo guy behind bars. That's my reasoning after the things that I've noticed that Scarecrow has said in the first 2 episodes that he's appeared in. And I'm sticking to that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And as the course of the show, you guys can call me on that later if I was wrong, but I have a feeling that Jonathan Crane, outside of his Scarecrow persona, is going to play a very big role in this show. So that's my thing, and I'm sticking with it. So Crane and Nightwing have a chat. He mentions how Dick is a prodigal son, which again is a throwback to the Prodigal Batman comic from pre-52. Strongly advise you check that out. Great story involving Two-Face, Nightwing, Tim Drake, and basically Nightwing returning and becoming Batman prior to the Batman Reborn stuff in 2009. Very, very good run, very fun. That also leads into a Nightwing miniseries that helped Chuck Dixon do the Nightwing comics. So very cool. Okay, back at the Batcave, after Dick leaves in a huff, talking to Jonathan Crane, not wanting to work with him at all. The Bat computer with our friend Beast Boy is able to crack the code about the clue that was given from, I don't remember where they got it from. I think when the lady was arrested, Red Hood gave a clue that basically it comes out to the words Robin, as well as a bunch of street names where he went and abducted a bunch of kids. Now, at one point, I thought that it was going to get really nasty and that the kids that he abducted were his replacements. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're not going to see Stephanie Brown in the show anymore because she's going to kill her. And he's going to kill Duke Thomas and all these other kids. Didn't happen, but for a moment there, I was like on the edge of my seat because you know how angry Jason is at this point in episode 2. So I was thinking they were going to do something even darker and just have Jason off his replacements, potential replacements. And I maybe I'm just thinking way too dark, but when I was sitting there watching the episode, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is about to get even way darker. It didn't happen. The kids did not turn out to be, Stephanie and Duke and all that other stuff. But I thought they were. So Barbara is trying to make Nightwing look like the replacement of Batman in the city. So he's working with the police. Hawk returns to work with Dove again. They have a spat. And Nightwing and his team arrive at the Gotham Bank to stop Red Hood. And it turns out that the people in the bank are actually bad guys. They're mob bosses. And the parents and the children are in vans somewhere else. So it was a setup. And the crooks are able to get away with the money. And Barbara is furious because she didn't allow the GCPD to go in and assist Nightwing and his team. Because Nightwing said, no police, we can do this. My team and I got this. And then he fails miserably. And Babs is furious with Nightwing. Like, she just lets him have it. She rips into him just like she ripped into Bruce in the first episode. Also, she's very disappointed in her ex-boyfriend. She wants to keep, she's the one who says it first. She wants to keep their relationship professional. Commissioner Gordon and Nightwing. So she even used the commissioner line there. So, and then Nightwing is like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll totally keep her professional. Even though they have history, as their time during Batgirl, and she mentions it, they have to be professional. I didn't, I guess I saw sparks flying between the two a little bit, but it is what it is. So anyway, Hank and Grayson are having a little chat about their exes, and it's Dick who mentions to his friend Hank, by the way, you're eating Crypto's food. That meat food that you think that Gar made, Gar is a vegetarian, that's Crypto's dinner. And Hank is just kind of like, he doesn't say a word. He puts the food back in the fridge, and then he gets all snarky with Dick Grayson about, their exes and about this guy and all this other stuff, messing with them. And they're like, who's ever pulling the shots, we're gonna catch these guys because, together we're unstoppable. We're the Titans. So Hank is really telling Dick that no matter what happens, the Titans are going to triumph, and everything's going to be good. So down in the Batcave, because reasons, Star and Gar are playing chess, and they have this moment, like aha moment. If we change how we do this chess game, this is where the Red Hood is. And it turns out that's true. They flip the chessboard around to decipher another clue because Red Hood has been leaving clues. I didn't think it was really important in a synopsis, but, yeah. Titans strike back and take out this mob place that is doing some type of drugs. And then we have an awesome confrontation between Nightwing and Red Hood. And this is a really great fight scene. Very good. A lot better than the Deathstroke and Nightwing fight scenes. Like, I want to see more Red Hood and Nightwing battles. Dick came out on top. He won. But the choreography, the fight, it's not very long, but it's satisfying. It's like, you've been waiting to see a Nightwing and Red Hood battle quite like this. It looked like something out of the Battle of the Cowl fights between Jason and Nightwing. It also showed the skill differences between Nightwing and Red Hood. Red Hood has only been Robin for a little bit, and he's able to disappear and stuff, but Nightwing can truly vanish. So there are times that Red Hood thinks he's going to kill Nightwing in their fight, and it just shows like how high above Nightwing is in terms of skill and everything, and completely outmatches Red Hood. It was awesome. And this is why Red Hood has to play dirty in episode 3. So more or less at the end of the episode, Red Hood gets away, and that's because during the fight, Nightwing is able to break his mask and discovers that Red Hood is Jason Todd. And they just end the episode like that. And he's like, Jason? And Jason is gone. And it's like, da-da-da, pretty cool. I thought that the reveal of Jason Todd to Nightwing was a little bit too soon in the episode, to be honest. It's kind of like, maybe they should have done that over the course of the show. But you have to remember that the show is probably only going to have like 9 or 10 episodes tops. And Red Hood is only supposed to be in 5 or 6 episodes tops. And then they're going to do the Starfire and Blackfire stuff that they teased in season 2, at the end of season 2. Or partway during season 2. Plus, there are other characters than Gotham characters. You also have to bring Donna Troy back to life when she's coming back. And you have to bring Raven back to the show. So you can't spend that much time in Gotham. So they had to rush it a little bit. But even though they rushed it, it made sense. They got in a fight. Nightwing broke his mask. Was able to see it was Jason. Although, Jason used to have a domino mask under, like a red domino mask under his eyes. He doesn't in this one. I guess he just didn't feel like it. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me. Red Hood is cool in it, but yeah. Alright, so let's get to episode 3, Hank and Dove. The really intense episode that I really, I wasn't expecting it, honestly. But again, with this show, you have to expect the unexpected because things are never going to quite go the way that you think they're going to. So, season 3. Where is it? Here we go. I got it. I got my thread. Time for episode 3, Hank and Dove. I took a snack break is what I wrote, because I did. People are like, weren't you live tweeting this as it was going? It's like, I get hungry. I needed to eat something. Sorry, I also had a massive headache last night, so. I had to eat something. Okay, so highlight of episode 2 was the fight between Red Hood and Nightwing, and the little goose chase between the two of them. How the episode 3 begins is Nightwing is literally digging up the grave of Jason, which is actually something that Batman did when he thought that Jason Todd was Hush or Red Hood or whatever in the comics. And since Batman's not around, the character that needs to be digging up Jason's grave all frantically is Dick. So some people were puzzled about that. They're like, wait a second, Dick never did this scene. It's like, no, but a character, a Batman and Robin-like character, did do this. It was Batman. It was Bruce Wayne frantically digging Jason's grave to see if he was there, and then opening up the coffin to see that, no Jason! Da-da-da! And then the look that they give Dick, this angry but puzzled look, like, how is this possible? Because apparently they haven't really dealt with characters coming back to life before in this world, even though Ra's al Ghul exists in this universe. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? So, back at Wayne Manor, Dick, Corey, Hank, Dove, Beast Boy, and Connor are all sitting together talking about Jason is back, and he's evil, and he's killing people as the Red Hood, and not just bad guys, but he's also killing innocent people like that woman and her daughter and the people at the bank and the people at the train station. It's being very, very bad. He's spreading fear is one of the things that somebody mentioned. And this also like had something click in my head. Wait a minute, fear, Scarecrow's behind this, even though he's in jail. Somehow Scarecrow's behind all this. Click, 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 click. You know, that's what I'm thinking as a Batman expert. That Scarecrow is going to have a big role in the Gotham stuff. Because they got a really important actor to play him, I think. But I don't know actors. I have a feeling that this is a very big guy for dramas to be in this season. He's also a really good actor. I like the Scarecrow, but he's playing the role too much like Riddler. That's my only issue with this actor. He's good as what he's doing, but he feels like a Riddler and not a Scarecrow. But that's just me. So anyway, they're having this interesting talk about, well, how did Jason come back? And somebody said, well, I mean, Ra's al Ghul, maybe he did it. And then Dick's like, no, he's off in Saudi Arabia somewhere. It's like, I don't think he's in Gotham. It's like, well, did you check to see if he's in Gotham? But it was like, at the time I was thinking, oh, they did a name drop for Ra's al Ghul. That's the first time they've mentioned Ra's in this at all. Cool. Okay. I like that. You get brownie points for that. Hank basically tells everybody that he runs into Jason again, he's going to kill the little bleep. And Dove runs into the kitchen after him. She's like, you're really going to kill Jason? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, he's already dead. And also he's killing innocent people. We do not do that. He says he crossed the line. He's dead to this family. Blah, 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 blah. And then they have like a little spout again. They fight quite a bit this year. Because, you know, they're exes. And maybe they're trying too hard to be exes. Which that also feels like it was kind of rushed between them. But more on that later. After the fight, not long after, Jason calls Hank, like all upset, like, man, I didn't mean to kill all those people, man. I don't know what's going on with me. Either Jason's putting on an act or he's literally insane at this point. I think that the Scarecrow drugs are kind of getting to him, and it has created like two personalities for the kid. Either that or he's a really good actor, and I forget his name, the Red Hood actor, but this actor is going to do a lot of stuff. Like later on, he's a phenomenal actor. Like you cannot take your eyes off him. Just like that kid who played Joker in Gotham. The one to watch in this show is the Red Hood actor. He is like, that's the talent. And the Nightwing actor is getting a little bit better, but this kid steals the show. Okay, so he's sitting there crying, and he looks like a druggie. He's kind of rocking back and forth, all the signs of somebody who's like dealing with withdrawal and all these problems. He's calling Hank, and he's like, I'm sorry, Hank, I didn't mean to do all that stuff, man. We need to talk. And, you know, basically he leads Hank into a trap because Hank is stupid. Hank is the dumb one. Hank has always been the dumb one in the comics with Hawk and Dove. That's why he ends up getting killed in the comics, is because he's stupid. He's just the brawn and not the brains. Dove is the brains, Hank is the brawn. So Jason leads him into a trap, and Gar basically sends a message to Batman because he believes that even though Batman's not around, Batman is omnipotent, and he's listening to everything going on because the Titans have made a base in the Batcave, so obviously Bruce has to know what's going on. So Gar gives a message to Batman saying that Jason's alive and you need to get back here now because something bad's going to happen. I can feel it, and we need you. Gotham needs you. Your son needs you. Jason needs you. And then Connor comes down. He's like, why are you even messing with that? Batman's gone. He left. He quit. He's a quitter. And Gar's like, I know somewhere he can hear and know what's going on. So Gar has a lot of faith because he is a big Batman fan, and it also harkens back to the actor who tried out to play Tim Drake, like 4 or 5 years ago. So Hank goes to see Jason. Jason has him go through all these hoops in order to see him, has him break his cell phone, take a cab, go from the Gotham Observatory to like somewhere else, and then eventually leading him to this weird factory that has a pool. He tells Hank to take off all his clothes to make sure he's not wired. Then he has him come across, and he appears as Red Hood. He knocks him out. Then he puts a bomb in his chest. So Red Hood is evil. It really appears that Jason has crossed the line. Red Hood calls when Hank comes back to the Batcave with the bomb after Jason let him go. And he calls Nightwing on the phone, and Nightwing says, we don't negotiate with criminals, and that's what you are now, Jason. You're no longer a Titan. You're not even Robin. And it's like, whoa, okay, that's kind of hardcore. But at the same time, Jason literally put a bomb in Hank. So that's kind of a problem, Dick. Don't do the Batman voice right now. It's not a good thing. Jason issues his demands. If you don't do what I tell you, then Hank is going to go boom. And it'll be your fault because you let another Titan die, which he's doing a name drop to Aqualad, who died in Season 2. Well, preferably he died before Season 1, but they did his death in Season 2. And Donna died in Season 2. So he's blaming Dick for all the Titans' deaths, and he'll have another Titan death on his hand, Hawk. Connor scans the bomb very hard to remove it without it going boom, and he can't figure out where this thing came from. This needs to be a timeout moment because this is weird to me, okay? They can't figure out where the bomb is. Why didn't they even think to ask the Bat computer early on in the show that this was a Bat bomb? If it's not a military-grade weapon, and it's nothing any of them have seen in the DC Universe, why did they not cross-reference it with the Bat computer early on? And then they could have prevented the ending of this episode. The Titans in this episode are stupid, and this part is not written well. I don't think Jeff Johns wrote this episode because it's kind of messy. It doesn't make any sense. At one point, these characters seem like they're very intelligent. The next moment, they're really stupid. If it's not a military weapon, it's not a terrorist weapon, and it's not an officer weapon, chances are it's a Batman weapon, which it is. But time in. Let's get into this. So Connor realizes that he doesn't know how to really stop this bomb thing, and Hank is in big trouble. And then Hawk and Dove have a moment again, and Hank kind of acts like a cancer patient the rest of the episode. Dick then goes back to Arkham to talk to Scarecrow to see if he knows what the bomb is. Yeah, because Scarecrow would know what this bomb is, obviously. He has this kind of stuff. No. So, the chat with Scarecrow at Arkham is just more screen time with the Scarecrow, and it doesn't really help all that much, other than the Scarecrow saying, well, maybe, have you ever realized that the Red Hood may actually be using his father's weapons? And Dick is like, wait a second. Then he calls everybody, check the Bat computer to see if this is Batman tech. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's Batman tech. And it's a prototype. And I was just like, facepalm moment from the Naked Gun movies. I was just like, oh my gosh, these Titans are idiots. Mainly their leader too, because he didn't even think about it. Anyway, so he tells Connor, once they figure out it's Batman tech, over the phone, you need to disarm this bomb. He's like, well, there's no diffuser thing. Batman doesn't have one. Or it's missing along with the bomb that's in Hank's chest. And he's like, well, you'll have to look at all these schematics, and in 3 hours, you're going to have to build this thing, because you're basically our Wally West character, and you're the fastest one who can read and build this stuff, which makes sense. I mean, Connor in the show is actually pretty cool. Connor is basically the Wally West character, though, if you didn't know that, for the show. He mostly just uses super speed. He doesn't fly. He's the Flash, in a sense. He's the Flash that pushed people, and he's nigh invulnerable. and he has heat vision that he never uses, and it's the first time I've ever seen him use super breath outside of the end of season 2. So he just runs really, really fast, like Grant from The Flash. So anyway, he frantically tries to put the tech together to help out Hank, and that's pretty much all Connor does this episode. Starfire goes to talk to Dick's ex, Barbara Gordon, and they have a chat about Jason Todd being the Red Hood, which Babs is like, oh my gosh, I feel really bad about everything that I did to Bruce, because what I did led him to kill the Joker, and also he's not here to help Jason now. So the only person who could probably help Jason right now is gone. It's my fault. And Star's like, yeah, kinda, but we need to see how Jason got out of the morgue. So let's focus and let's look at this stuff. And then they have like this random thing where some person who worked at the GCPD took Jason's body. You don't really know why. Well, you know why, because he resurrected somehow. But I believe that the person escorting Jason out of the gurney is actually Jason with a baseball cap, which we'll probably talk about in episode 4 or 5, because I don't think Jason was ever dead. I think he was in a coma after the Joker killed him, or maybe the Joker thought he killed him, but he didn't. He just appeared dead because of the drugs he was under. That's my guess. And I think the plan was all orchestrated by the Scarecrow. So anyway, while they're searching for this guy using the GCPD Oracle computers, which is GCPD computers are like Oracle stuff, because Barbara's smart. Starfire has her weird schizophrenic backwards talking moments again, but she's pretty chill. In this scene, she doesn't really go around, speaking Biden again, or, someone who is having a stroke. She is pretty calm, which is surprising, and she just asks to excuse herself and let her know if they find anything. And that's pretty much that with the Star and Babs thing. Like I said, that thing is going to be happening with Starfire a lot this season until Blackfire actually arrives. Crypto, meanwhile, is hanging out acting like a patient who is about to die. So he's a terminal patient. And he's hanging out with Crypto, the super dog, and they're watching golf. Because they're trying to do stuff that will keep his heart rate low so the bomb doesn't go boom, right? So he says, hey, Crypto, I'm hungry. Why don't you make some hot dogs? Because if Dove makes cooking, I'll die anyway. Because Dove apparently can't cook. Haha, women who can't cook joke, blah, blah, blah. A male chauvinist hawk guy. But you love him because he's just so lovable. You love Hank, right? Hank and Dove have another argument that leads to them getting busy with a bomb. Kinky. And then she's like, I'm not going to let you die. And Hank's like, don't you do what I think you're doing. And she's like, you don't know what I'm going to do. And it's like, everybody knows what you're going to do, Dove. It's so easy to figure out what you're going to do next. Connor, meanwhile, still downstairs in the Batcave, testing the bomb diffuser with now a chance rate of 54%. Nightwing tracks down Red Hood, and, a body falls from the sky onto his car. And then Dick leaves the scene of the crime to go after Red Hood. So he doesn't even report that a body just randomly was tossed at him. He just leaves, and his vehicle has like a broken windshield. Dove steals the gold bars, which nobody saw coming, from the police, on camera to save Hank from Jason. And she does it because she loves him, obviously, which she didn't love him most of the season. And it's because he's dying that she wants to be with him again, which sometimes that happens. It's a couple will visit the other in the hospital who's sick or injured, and just seeing that person, so vulnerable and hurt and dying is enough to restore that old energy that you had for each other, and the spark comes back. Sometimes that is all that's needed. It's kind of like using a defibrillator on your relationship. So Hank is on cloud 9, thinking he and Dove are, when he gets this bomb out, going to have Hank and Dove babies, maybe. But she's now ruined her life by stealing the gold bars from the Gotham Police Department on camera. Which, if you think this is not going to come back and bite the Titans in the rear, you're wrong. Because this is going to be very bad later on. There's no way that they can, do anything. Because one of the things Red Hood said is, you have to do this, circus boy, on camera so Gotham can see you. So they didn't disable the security cameras when they stole the money. Also, the officers were left alive, which, Titans aren't going to kill police officers. So they can also ID Dove. Dove's life is over. More or less. It's going to be very hard to fix this. So anyway, Dove goes to see Jason, and he makes a very interesting proposal that's evil. Evil. He is really going to turn Dove into Two-Face. He tells her, I have a way for stopping Hank, or I have a way from saving Hank right now. And you need to do this, Dove, if you want to save your boyfriend. Use this gun on me, and you will grow up and no longer be a Titans. Kill me, and you will save Hank. Because that's the only way to stop the detonator. This was a bait and switch. This was evil. So they basically go back to the Batcave again as Nightwing shows up, and Connor tells them, there's a 1% chance this is going to work. And Nightwing's like, do it! Go save him! Do it now! And then he runs upstairs as fast as he can because he's a Flash. Basically, he's Wally. And Nightwing is trying to talk down Dove. Don't do it! Don't shoot Jason! This doesn't feel right! And Dove is like, screw you, dick! And she pulls the trigger, and then Jason has a sly smile on his face like, oh, by the way, that was the detonator. With 5 seconds left to spare, Hank blows up! And Dove killed him. Jason is evil! Evil! Not only did he ruin Hawk and Dove, he made Dove a criminal and a murderer, having her kill her own boyfriend with a bait and switch. He was correct that the detonator was there. She was holding it. It was the gun. Holy crap! And Dove's mind goes snippety snap at the end of the episode. She doesn't even realize what she did. Yep, Jason's evil. So he defeats Hawk and Dove at the end of episode 3. There were some moments where, Hawk was talking with Gar and all the other Titans, when somebody's on their deathbed. Dick called and said, I hate Hawaiian pizza, but I will buy you that pizza tomorrow. I knew that Hawk was going to die. I figured Jason was going to do something. There was too many red flags for Hawk. And Hawk is, again, he always dies in the comics, and some girl replaces him. I don't remember her name, but it was weird for the Hawk and Dove not to have superpowers in this universe, though. That was one thing that always kind of bothered me. And I always kind of liked the Dove character because she was basically Batgirl in this show. Like, she was Nightwing's ex. And now that Nightwing's real ex, Batgirl, is in the show, I don't really know what's going to happen to Dove anymore because people like Barbara Gordon more than they like Dove. In fact, the audience test ratings for Barbara Gordon in these 3 episodes is higher than Dove's actual ratings. People have been saying great things about Barbara. Even maybe people are just doing it because she's an amputee or she's a better fit for Dick. I don't know. I thought the actress playing Barbara Gordon that we're going to see a lot this season is pretty cool. I think that it's her fault that Batman killed the Joker, just like it's Nightwing's fault. And I don't really know what's going to happen with Dick in the romance department, but I have a feeling that Dove is either going bye-bye in the mental ward or being arrested, which she'll probably let herself be arrested in episode 4, or the whole thing where she robbed the Gotham Police Department of gold bars worth like $40 billion or $30 billion will never be brought up again, just like the fact that Alfred literally called Dick Grayson in season 1 only for him to randomly die and him attend the funeral, which he never had time to attend the funeral because of all the stuff that happened. If Alfred died during the time that he was with Raven, like going cross country, it doesn't make sense. Why can't they just admit that Alfred was on vacation, or they didn't have to kill him because now there's no explanation for it? When did he die? He hasn't been back to Gotham for 3 years. What? So yeah, that's an issue I had with it. So, but all in all, so far season 3 is better than all the Titan seasons. It's got drama, action, suspense. I was on the edge of my seat, even though I knew Hank was going to die. Like, the whole episode, I was just like, one, I was yelling at how stupid the Titans were because they didn't realize it was Batman's tech without the Scarecrow literally telling them, well, maybe it's Batman's technology. I was just like, no way Nightwing is this stupid. He's not this stupid. He is this stupid in this show. You could have saved 15 minutes. Also, the fact that I messed something up. Connor and Beast Boy would not test the detonator when they had a percentage chance around 5% that it would still blow up. They should have taken the risk and used the diffuser thing, because Jason, with the 5 seconds left, he tricked Dove into killing Hank. So everybody is at fault for Hank dying, including Hank. Mostly it's Hank's fault because he was stupid enough to go see Jason, and Jason led him into a trap. And Jason's probably going to lead somebody else into a trap. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm really interested in how episode 4 is going to transpire next week. I will be live tweeting it when it happens, because I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me some questions right now. I know this podcast has gone on for quite a while, but I had 3 episodes to go over. So that was crazy. But I had fun. Yeah, Jason's wicked evil in the show. That's a downside for me, though. I've never seen Jason this evil, and I bet you how they're going to explain it is they're going to say, well, Jason was twisted by the Scarecrow, and he's on drugs, and that's why he's so bad. And it's like, nah, I don't know. I think Jason's fully aware of what he's doing. Someone needs to put Jason down and give these so-called Titans some classes on what to do. K-Wing, more Dragon Ball Z fighters? What? With Hank dead, do you think Dawn's sister will take the mantle of Hawk like she did in the comics? Not this season, no. I have a feeling that... Excuse me, I had to drink. I have to keep my throat from like getting all messed up. I mean, this is just a theory, but I haven't really seen a lot of Dove in the teaser for episode 4. But I think that Dove is going to end up going to jail the way that Dick did in season 2. And maybe she'll come back later. But they had a lot of characters in this first 3 episodes because they knew they were going to kill off a character. Which is a shame because I didn't like Hank when I first met him in season 1, but over the last season and part of this season, I really started to like him. And it's always a shame when I have a character that I really start to like and they die. Right now, my likable character for this season is Tim Drake and Nightwing and Barbara. So I hope that Batman and Tim Drake, I don't think they're going to kill Tim Drake because he's a POC. But I don't think he's going to become Robin this year. And if he does become Robin, he's not going to become Batman's Robin. Batman's done. I don't see Batman coming back as Batman. They've been trying to get rid of that character, and they have the perfect reason for getting rid of him now. He killed the Joker, and he quit. But we know for a fact that the Batman actor is in at least 2 more episodes this season. So he will be coming back, but I don't think he's going to be coming back as Batman. I think the decision for him to retire in his late 50s, early 60s was probably the right decision based on, where he's going with that character, as well as the whole, well, we don't want this Batman to show up in suit because reasons. And it's not a Batman show is what they keep saying. It's not a Batman show, so we can't have Batman running around in a batsuit. Then you go back to season 1 and he's running around in a batsuit. So, I mean, But Tim Drake's invincible. Because plot armor. I think Tim Drake is going to have a big role to play in the show. I just don't know what it is. There's an episode literally called Tim Drake this year. I think that Jason's going to kill his family. I think the Drakes are going to die. All of them. I think his cousin's going to die. I think his parents, the restaurant's going to get blown up. Tim's going to survive and want revenge against Jason Todd. Tim is mixed, actually, in the show. Will Deathstroke return in this season, or are they saving him for season 4? Deathstroke is dead. Which is weird. Okay, here's a weird thing, alright? Deathstroke is dead. Where's Rose? Connor is here from season 2. Where's Rose? Rose just left after killing her dad? No explanation? We know that Jason went back to Gotham. Where's the Rose character that has Jericho in her head? She was a member of the Titans now. She's not around. Is she waiting till after Hank died to be a regular cast member? Is she even showing up this season? Did they completely forget about Rose? I mean, nobody who's reviewed this show has brought up Rose at all. She was in the last episode of season 2. Is she just another plot point that they got rid of, like Dove's romantic renewal in Dick Grayson after she broke up with him after Aqualad died? This is what I'm saying. Some episodes are written and directed or produced by Jeff Johns, and other shows are written by clowns that don't pay attention to all the little things they did. Good writer once in a while, bad writers every other time. That's my prediction. So they might have just forgot about Rose until it's convenient. Like maybe she'll show up during the intergalactic stuff. Or maybe she's not in this season at all because they have Barbara Gordon and Tim Drake now. I don't know. But she's just kind of gone. Or maybe she'll come back as a villain. I don't know. This show forgets plots like the Titans forgot they should have. See if it was a bat bomb. Oh, snap. That's pretty good. I like how smart Connor is in this season. Yeah, well, I mean, he's read like thousands of books, so of course he's going to be so smart. Superman can be really smart too if he read as many books. How do you think the Flash got as smart as he was? He can read books at light speed. That's how the Flash is so smart. I like that they did that with Connor, but that's a Flash thing. That's not really a Superman thing. Where's the crush in this series? I don't know. There should be a rule when doing shows like officially. K-Wing, did you see What If? No. No, I didn't, Nathaniel. They're probably saving her? Scheduling issues? Could be. K-Wing, Jason is smart. He's just not a reader. Jason has his strengths and weaknesses. To be qualified to be Robin is to have sad and tragic stories. Yup, pretty much. And how they use that tragedy to basically overcome it. Yeah, I didn't forget about Lex. Lex isn't in this season. They completely... There's another important thing that the Jason Momoa guy brought up in the chat. Lex Luthor is completely gone from this season. He's not going to show up at all, from what I remember. The Connor plot that they had in season 2, with the people responsible for Donna Troy's death being... what's the name of that agency? It'll come to me. Not Spiral. Not Argus. Crap. I can't remember. Cadmus! Where's Cadmus? Cadmus was... They were going after Cadmus. They weren't even going after Cadmus in... Okay, alright. In episode 1 of season 3, they could have kicked things off that Gizmo worked for Cadmus. But they were just going after Gizmo like he was a Titan villain. They completely removed Cadmus from the equation when that was a big plot from the second season. They were supposed to go after Cadmus in revenge for Donna Troy. What happened to that? They just went back to Gotham so they could do the Red Hood stuff. They don't have a plan. But, not being a hater, season 3 is good. It's just, how does it connect to season 2? It doesn't. The only thing that connects season 2, it's almost like this is another Multiverse Titan show, because the only connection is Jason Todd's fear of heights, which is only shown briefly. And they've mentioned Donna being dead once. Once! Everything else is completely different. No Cadmus. Gizmo was doing his own thing. They took Gizmo and his henchmen down. It's not because they were... I thought it's like, oh, they're going after that evil organization from the end of the second season that killed Donna. Wait, they're just taking down Gizmo because Gizmo has a mob? Or a groupies? Okay. What about Cadmus? I would have wanted somebody to say, we can't leave San Francisco. We're still tracking Cadmus. But no, everybody's like, let's go to Gotham. I want to meet Batman. It's like, ugh. They're supposed to be fighting Cadmus and Lex. Donna's coming by episode 5 or 6. They just skipped the most important plots and they just focus. It should be called The Robin Show. It really should. Because Tim Drake is not probably going to suit up this year. He'll do it next year. But it's not going to be the same Tim Drake because Tim Drake became Robin to help Batman. So he's going to become Robin to help Nightwing? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. DC continues to have no plan, unlike Marvel. They just skipped the most important plot stuff. Rose is gone. Yeah, Rose was shown shooting some episodes. That's good. Well, I mean, she does have her brother stuck in her head, so... Yes, Batman is coming back. But not as Batman. Bruce Wayne's returning. Episode 4 will bring Donna back and Raven, and then Episode 5 will be Titans versus Red Hood. The Titans came to Gotham like a crossover. I already knew Batman was returning, though. I told people that. I said he was going to be back. The actor was shown in later episodes or attached to later episodes or something. Thank you for the super chats. Ryan is a martial artist, but yeah, he's been training a lot. That's why he did that awesome like Arkham fight scene at the beginning of the episode. Episode 1. You forgot why Connor is smart because his dad is Lex Luthor? Yeah, that's true. He's half Lex, half Superman. You are correct. I'm not a Superman person, so... Jason being so psycho and willing to kill his friends seems like a 180. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. You're probably not going to like this. This is going to be lazy, but this is my reasoning. Everything that happened when they finally take down Jason Todd, he's going to blame on the Scarecrow. He's going to say that Scarecrow's drugs made him crazy. And that Scarecrow was the one doing all the murder, and he designed the Bat Bomb, and, you know, Jason's going to try to pin it on Scarecrow. You watch. And Scarecrow will be revealed as the big bad who, even though he wasn't, he was just, even though Red Hood was the guy pulling the trigger, you want to go after the guy who's writing tickets, to quote The Long Halloween. The guy who's punching the tickets, the Big Cheese. Big Cheese is Scarecrow. Red Hood is just the guy pulling the trigger. He's nobody. He's not. He's you know, he works for Scarecrow. You got to go get the Scarecrow who's already in jail. I mean, they're going to do something lazy like that. I bet. Bet you. Yeah. Fun fact, Ryan auditioned to be Tim Drake. Yes, he did. Are Starfire visions her sister being experimented on? I don't know what her visions are yet. We don't know. She's just acting all crazy. No opinion on multiverse frontier Tim Drake. I did some tweets on it. It's called Titans, 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 but it's about Robins, Robins, Robins. In the words of Deadpool, that's just lazy writing. Yep, Nathaniel. Next year is going to be about all international travel. Where is Damien? Damien doesn't exist right now, Dark Ops. I feel like James Gunn should really head story direction for DC. Yeah, probably. Scarecrow is most likely the big bad, but how did he get brought back to life? Drugs! Or, okay, here's a theory. Jason took a whiff of whatever that was beforehand. under probably the orders of the Scarecrow. He was looking around when the Joker appeared, and the Joker started wailing on Robin, and then when Robin looked like he was no longer alive, the Joker stopped hitting him with a crowbar. Police show up at the scene. They see a Robin that doesn't look like he's breathing or has a pulse, probably because of their drugs in his system. Take him back to the GCPD. Scarecrow is able to get Jason out of, because of his connections as a consultant. He has somebody on the inside who's able to get Jason's body out. They revive him over in that factory using the drugs that Dick finds. And that's how, Jason Todd became Red Hood. Or, here's the fun theory. He was already Red Hood killing people, and he didn't even really know it. Because he's under some type of Scarecrow drug hallucination where he's been doing all these drugs, and he is the serial killer in Gotham that was really Red Hood. So, because Batman's been away for like a month or something. So this guy has been running around killing people, killing mob people, which is probably a test for Scarecrow doing something. So, yeah. That's my reasoning. He drank the Lazarus juice. Where did he get the Lazarus juice? Ra's al Ghul hasn't showed up in the show. He's just mentioned. So Hawk is dead because the actor needed to get off the show. Hawk is gone. Yeah, Hawk is... He got blown to pieces. Can we agree Gotham TV show characters are the dumbest ever seen in a superhero show? Gotham as in, like, the Fox show? Off-screen Lazarus Pit? No. I don't think so. It's going to be about the drugs. Maybe there's some Lazarus chemicals in the drugs that Scarecrow somehow got. Because remember, Scarecrow did work with Ra's al Ghul in the Nolan films. So maybe, yeah. They forgot Starfire's powers weren't working. Ah, yes, Nightwing Alex, there's another thing. Starfire's powers weren't working in Season 2, and miraculously they start working again. Ah, there's another hanging plot. Oh my gosh, well played, Nightwing Alex, well played. Oh, wow, that's another one. All right, we need to stop, or I'm going to stop liking Season 3. I like Season 3. Do not ruin this for me. I'm almost ruining it for myself. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. No, I liked it for what it was. It's crazy how much we all secretly want a Nightwing show. He needs to appear as such in a DC movie. Skip Robin, though Drake is the best Robin. He was. What are powers? I know Nightwing, Alex. That was crazy. Well, Chris McKay still wants to make a Nightwing movie, and, he's back talking about it again. That's a good sign. Maybe it'll end up on HBO Max. I think it would be better for it to end up in HBO Max before it ends up in the theaters, because it would probably do pretty good. And people want a Nightwing show. Might be a good time for it. I've learned to not look too far into the show and just enjoy it for what it is. That's wise advice. I'd like to. Thanks for the super chat. Yes, thank you very much. The guy who played Hawk also played Aquaman in Smallville. You're right, he did. Must be what her visions are. Okay, I had a thing. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if... I know this is stupid, but this is how I would have done the Titan show. Instead of Starfire, like, having all these random, like... I was thinking, oh my gosh, maybe John Jones is trying to contact Starfire. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, to warn her about some intergalactic threat? And maybe John Jones is her therapist? And I'm just thinking, nah, they're probably not smart enough to do something like that. It'd be like, come on, give us some John Jones. It would make sense. She's an alien. He's reaching out to her. It's not really working out well, so she's going all like... but no, it's going to be because of Blackfire, probably. But it would make more sense because John, his eyes glow weird when he communicates to people and gets into their head, and sometimes they end up foaming at the mouth or having really bad headaches. I mean, that kind of is what's happening with Star. She's acting like a person who has rabies. They can't use John Jones. I know! Miss Martian? There you go, Miss Martian. Perfect. It's probably Blackfire. Although I thought Blackfire was already on Earth. I heard a rumor today about a potential Red Hood movie. It's not a rumor. They want to do a Red Hood spin-off show. It's the HBO Max Red Hood show starring the Red Hood actor from HBO Max. It's not a rumor. That they announced that 7 months ago they wanted to do that, right before they revealed Tim Drake actor in the Titan show. They were already bragging about how they wanted to do a spin-off show for Red Hood. That's probably going to be announced on DC Fandom event. Most likely. Do you think the Joker is really dead? He's dead. He's dead. He's gone. Batman caved his skull in. Like, Joker's gone. Joker's not coming back. Maybe Dwella Dent will be in the show, but I don't think so. Miss Martian would be so cool, but they're not going to do it. Jason drinks Lazarus juice. The mastermind is really Scarecrow. Drug lords still operate their business even if they're in jail. Yeah, I mean, that's real life. That's true. Lazarus juice. Yeah, but Lazarus... There's only one problem with your theory. Lazarus juice doesn't work when you're alive. It kills you. If you drink the juice, if you wade... It goes back to what they said in the animated series and other incarnations of the Lazarus Pit, even in Arkham. The Lazarus Pit has restoring effects for dying people and people who are already dead. But if you are alive, it will kill you. So if he had some Lazarus juice before seeing the Joker, it would kill him. Always. Well, maybe it works. No. Unless they decide to rewrite. You know what? I wouldn't put it past them. K-Wing, I don't think Bruce killed Joker. I think it was Jason, but Bruce knew it was Jason was alive and that Jason killed the Joker, so Bruce covers for Jason and leaves to search for Jason? No! He killed him! Bruce literally killed him. They have a corpse of the Joker. That's why I'm saying it was important that they showed Joker having his head caved in. Because all you get is a description of Joker in the morgue with his brains out. From the crowbar that Batman used. Batman killed him. Even Jonathan Crane mentions what happened to Joker. They were there in Arkham. They witnessed it. Joker gone. His head's caved in. So it won't kill him. Wasn't Roy Harper supposed to be in season 3? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think we're going to get a new Nightwing thing. I think his death was planned. Whose? What, Alex? Wally will fix this all. Where's Wally? So did Joker shoot Barbara's knee? No, he cut off her leg. He shot her and then he cut off her leg, is what they're saying. Which is gross. I don't know why he did it, but... I don't get why some people just won't accept that Bruce killed Joker. Since we saw Gizmo, do you think we could possibly see Jinx, Mammoth, and other Titans in future shows? Probably. I hope Nightwing gets the red costume. No! No new 52. That's why Robin Nightwing left Batman, I think. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. No. Robin was fired. What do you, about why Dick Grayson left Batman's employ? It was never because Batman killed somebody. Robin, in every incarnation that I can think of, got in either a fight with Batman, Robin was shot. Okay. In the 80s, Robin was shot by the Joker, and Batman fired him. And then Robin went to the Titans. In the 90s, when they were doing Nightwing Year 1, Robin was busy with the Titans and came back. Batman got in a fight with him and fired him because he said he wasn't dependable, and he didn't need him anymore. And that it isn't a game, and he didn't appreciate it, and he fired Dick. Yeah, most times it's either Dick Grayson got wounded by a supervillain and Batman fired him to protect him, or Batman was super ticked at him because he's not around to be his support or his human target or his partner, and Batman was like, nah, this isn't working, you're fired. Which, that's usually the 2 or 3 ways that they do it. Batman has never killed somebody that Dick then is like, oh, I'm quitting because you broke your code. It's always something to do with something that Dick was doing that Batman didn't like. Robin being with the Titans, Robin not following orders. I liked in the animated series how Robin got annoyed that Batman was talking to his girlfriend, and then he decked him. That's the best way to quit. That was a great episode. I love that episode. Oh, so good. Just clocks Bruce real good in front of Barbara, and her reaction is like, dang, that's how you quit. Oh my gosh. That's one of my favorite episodes. Why did Red Hood say he retired Batman? Was Jason's plan to die? No! Jason's plan isn't to die. He knew the moment he switched the detonator. He wanted Dove to kill Hawk. He's evil. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I gave her a gun, I want to die. No! He was taunting her. He knows she wants to kill him. He's not going to let her kill her. Red Hood's not going to let himself be killed by Dove. He has too much to do. He's being paid a lot of money that he's given to the Scarecrow. His boss. He's just, no, he did a bait and switch. It was never a plan like, oh yeah, she's really going to shoot me, and then the detonator's going to go off. There was nothing in that gun except for the detonator of the bomb. Old switcheroo. It's also because Bruce scared children in the DCAU. I don't like the whole be a better Batman thing. That comes back from the comic books. How would you want Wally to come into the show? They can't do Wally. They have Connor. Connor's Wally. Connor's Wally in this. More or less. Okay, so you've always been a really big fan of the show, and this season is really good to you. And the first time I cried is when Hank died. Yeah, but question I've been watching a while. Why do you dislike the show? That's a mixed bag. There were some things I didn't like about the series. I like season 3, so I mean, as a whole, it's better now, but there's still things I don't like about season 1 and season 2. But that's just me. If you like it, cool. Season 3 is the best part of the show so far. I'm hoping it continues. I hope all of season 3 is good. There were only like a handful of episodes of season 2 that were really great, and then everything else was just kind of mediocre. This year they're off to a strong start because they did 3 episodes right away, and 3 really good episodes that worked. So I hope episodes 1 through 5 are really good. Actually, I hope the whole season is good. I'm really excited to see what they do with Starfire this year. And also possibly some intergalactic Titan goodness. Because the Titans are an international group. Does Jason come back through the Lazarus Pit? No. Probably not. How do you feel that we saw Duke and Steph and all? I love that Easter egg. I thought that was awesome. That was a nice little nod to the fans, comic book fans. Episodes 3 name is Blackfire, so I think 2 plots between Red Hood and Blackfire will be switching around this season. Oh, you think they're going to do the old switcheroo. Titans right now is like Houston Rockets. Fire. At this point, Jason should just kill Dawn himself. He won't. There are 13 episodes this year? Heck yes. I thought there were only 10. That's good to know. Have you seen the Netflix Transformer show? No. For some reason I get the feeling this will lead into a Young Justice live-action series. No. I like when Starfire said this was a death in the family. Yep, nice little Easter egg. Where's Rose? Nobody knows. I'm waiting until they make Superman say F, and I'll watch it. John Doe? Hey! Yeah, they did show Carrie Kelly. What's up, John? Why didn't Superman come to Gotham to check on Bruce after he killed Joker? Because the adult characters don't care about each other, really. I'm surprised that Wonder Woman hasn't shown up because she was hanging out with Bruce while Donna and Dick were upstairs talking when they were kids. So she used to come to the manor a lot, and apparently the Justice League used to hang out in the Batcave once upon a time. But I think everybody's estranged now. They don't really like each other anymore. Also because they can't really do that because of the DC films. Superman and Wonder Woman are hard to have on shows. They're getting a little looser with their, stuff, but for the most part, there were a lot of restrictions for having Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the same show. Like, you have to go through a lot of hoops. Did I see the Snake Eyes movie? No, I heard about it. Carrie Kelly is the worst Robin. Okay. Do you think we'll get to see Roy Harper? I don't know, man. Who's your favorite character so far this season? It was Hank. I liked Hank. He had a lot of character growth. And he also kept some of the traits that made him lovable and stupid. I really like Barbara and Nightwing this year. Nightwing feels a lot cooler than he did last year. And Connor has grown on me quite a bit. Beast Boy is stepping it up too. But Beast Boy's not going to have an arc. Superman is too busy looking out for his son. Yeah, you could say that it's CW Superman crossover. I don't know. Do you think we'll see Roy Harper? No. I want to see Artemis. Maybe. So most likely we won't see Superman or any other Justice League members. Just name drops. You're going to get name drops, yep. Titans Bruce kind of reminds me of the Dark Knight Returns Bruce. Not sure if it was intentional or not. Probably. He's a mixture of the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns and also the All-Star Batman. I think they did that intentional because it works for an R-rated Titan show. Do you think they're going to pull a Jericho and Good Jason is going to be in Red Hood's head and they have to get him out of his head? If they bring Rose in, I could see them using Jericho. Yeah. Superman is busy looking for Jordan. Jordan. Oh, his son. Yeah. You're talking about the CW. They're not connected, man. They're not. They're part of the same multiverse, but they're not the same. I have seen Superman and Lois. I think it's an awesome show. Who would be a good villain if they get a season 4? A good villain for season 4? The Hive? Oh, wait, no. They already did the Hive. Never mind. The Hive was only 4 people. A Titans villain? I would give Trigon a whole season. And bring back Deathstroke from the dead, like Trigon did, to mess with them. Trigon and Deathstroke in the same season would be pretty cool. Brother Blood, yeah. Cadmus is a villain for a whole season? Nah. Yeah, Titans is in a separate universe. Yep. Bruce looks like Sir Jorah. What do you want to see from Tim Drake? I want to see him do something smart, because right now he's just kind of like a Batman fanboy. If they're really, incorporating his intelligence, I want to see that. But I don't know. The synopsis for the character was wrong. They were just using people to like a bait and switch to get people angry and stuff like that. When, Tim's pretty cool so far, and we'll see more of him later. No, they'll never bring in Wally West. Cadmus might be the one experimenting on Blackfire. Ah, that's interesting. Bring Cadmus back in the show that way. Do you think Tara would ever appear in the show, considering they can't do the Judas contract with her and Deathstroke? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. They probably could do Terra, but they're doing Terra and Young Justice, so I don't know. You have a weird feeling that season 4 will be about the League of Shadows. It's possible because they mentioned Ra's al Ghul, so whenever you do a name drop, you never know what direction they're going to go with the season. But they need to stick to Titans characters. Unless they want to do a spin-off Nightwing show, which I'm all for. And then they can have as many Gotham characters as they want. But if it's a Titan show, I would like them to focus on Titans characters. Because there's 30 plus years of Titan stuff they can use. Plus, there's also another 15 years of Titan stuff they can use from the 60s and 70s. Or 50s and 60s. I don't think the Titans was really around in the 70s anymore. I don't remember. The new Teen Titans was a while. 1983 until 89, 88, and then it became known as the Titans, which ran from like 89 until 94, something like that. Please, Nightwing spinoff. Yes. No, We Are Robin. No more. Have a spinoff Robin show. Don't do more Titans Batman stuff. Keep it Titans. It's a disservice to Titans fans. Yes, Nightwing is a Batman character, but yes, bring in the Wonder Twins. Oh my gosh, yes. Wonder Twin powers activate. Shape of a gorilla. Form of a water bucket. Yes. And let them drop F-bombs everywhere. That'd be hilarious. That's how you make the Wonder Twins edgy. I want to see it now. Oh, potty mouth Wonder Twins. Didn't they tease Gleek at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths? They did. But who knows what they're going to do with Gleek the monkey. No Wonder Twins. No Amanda Waller. Robin and Robin and Robin featuring Robin from Robin May Cry series. Too many Robins. Oh yeah, speaking of that, did you guys know there's a Robin comic book coming out called The Robins that is coming out in November? And now they are redoing, because New Frontier is a new multiverse. DC Rebirth ended with a soft reboot, and now it's Frontier. So they are redoing Nightwing's origin in a Robin book about Dick Grayson's first year as Robin. So they're doing Robin year 1 as Dick Grayson in November or October, retelling Dick Grayson's time as Robin from either Frontier or DC Rebirth. Again, so people saying, let me just quote Twitter. People are like, oh, well, I mean, these are the same characters that were around in the 90s and the 80s. No, they're not. You're idiots. It's wrong. These are another rebooted group based on the characters. That's not the same. They're not Chuck Dixon's Tim Drake or Nightwing. They have different origins. They have different everything. My characters that I grew up with died in Convergence, I think. Or they just disappeared after Convergence. Nobody knows. Nightwing and Barbara got married, and then Tim and Stephanie were having a moment on the couch with candlelight and their bruised and broken bodies after fighting a supervillain that was superpowered in the Hunger Games style, and then it just kind of ends. All the pre-52 characters that survived, the only survivors that really, I think, happened was Superman, Lois, and Jonathan. Everybody else got either erased or maybe their worlds were restored. Nobody knows. But they're not doing stories on the pre-Flashpoint world. Those characters are retired. All these characters, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Bruce Wayne, everybody's new. They're all new. It's a reboot. Frontier is a soft reboot of DC Rebirth. DC Rebirth was a hard reboot of the New 52. And New 52 was a redoing of the pre-52. So basically 30, 40 years of comic book lore was rebooted in 2011. Cyborg is in Doom Patrol. Impossible. Yes, he is. K-Wing, have you read Batman 89? Yes, I'm doing a video on it tomorrow. Who do you think we could see Beast Boy and Raven romance? There might be hints of it, but I don't know. Cyborg and Artemis should be in the Titan show. I agree, Dark Ops. 100% agree. So did Jason die and use the Lazarus Pit, or did they just pull an Arkham? They probably pulled an Arkham Knight. Joker probably thought he killed him and just stopped hitting him with a crowbar when he saw Jason go down. So, I mean, Jason took some type of drug before he went out to face the Joker, and then he got hit in the head with a crowbar. Then Joker hit him again and again, and then probably Joker checked to see if he was alive and stopped hitting him, and Jason survived. K-Wing, is one of your problems of the show is the cursing? No. I don't really care. It's an R-rated show. Dick and Barbara is way better than Dick and Corey. Yes, Dark Ops! You are my new favorite. Yes! Static Shock would be cool in this show. Yeah, he would. What's your take on Ben Affleck Batman? As long as he's given good material, he'd be a good Batman. Are they unable to use Wally due to the Flash TV show? They could use Ginger Wally. Nobody's using Ginger Wally. Red X would be interesting in this show, but they'd be too similar to the Red Hood. Static is in Young Justice. That's true. If they do a spin-off of the Nightwing show, would you like to see the new villain? Oh, who would I want to see as the new villain? I would want a Batman villain. Maybe Raptor would be okay, or the Court of Owls. There are two Wallys, lol. There are always two Wallys. OG Wally is Ginger Wally. Wallace West is the other Wally. They could use Ginger Wally. He's just sitting in the DC vault, not doing much. Are they already developing a Static Shock movie? Supposedly. But it might end up being an HBO Max show. We don't know. How likely is that Red Hood getting a spinoff? 85, 90%? Have I read DC Deceased? Yes. Deathstroke had to be the villain in the Nightwing show. Yeah, he could. You think the drug was Titan, which could bring in the Bane as villain? It's possible, Carter. We'll see. His eyes did get all weird and demon-like, didn't he, when he took it? Who is your favorite live-action Batman? Between Keaton and Affleck at this point. Unless something happens that changes my mind, because I both like what Keaton did as Batman, because he was playing the Golden Age, like 40s, 50s Batman before the Comics Code Authority. And I liked what Affleck was doing as Batman because he was playing Frank Miller Batman. And, you know, I appreciate that they did really good things with both of those characterizations. But the definitive Batman for me is the animated series. Always. But in terms of live action, it's between those two guys. Sammy Partner? I don't... Robert Pattinson. How did Alfred die? Nobody knows. He died off screen sometime in season 1. But it doesn't make any sense. Because he hasn't been back to Gotham in 3 years. Except he came back to Gotham in season 1. With Jason. I think. And they're acting like him coming back to Gotham this year is like the first time he's been back in 3 years. He came back and talked to Bruce in season 2. Maybe he didn't announce that he wasn't in Gotham, so it wasn't the same thing. I don't know. When did he talk to Alfred in season 1? He had a missed call from Alfred. Was Alfred on his deathbed telling him? Did he miss a call from Alfred that he never listened to the voicemail? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, well. It's just another plot point that they screwed up. We'll never know. According to them, Alfred died when he was still Robin. But if you go back to the first season, unless they soft retconned it, maybe... Here's the thing, all right? Here's how I'm going to excuse what happened. Okay? This is how we fix it. There are 2 Titans universes, okay? Then The CW multiverse event happened when it was part of the multiverse. When the world was restored, there were changes that occurred. And Alfred was one of the casualties. There you go. Fixed. Because Robin and Hawk both appear on the CW when their world is erased by the red sky. And then when it's restored, not everything is the way it was before. So Alfred is now dead. Commissioner Gordon dead. Robin and Batgirl, even though Babs was never mentioned in the show before, outside of her phone number in Dick's phone in season 1, fixed it. Also now, Dove and Robin didn't have a romantic history because he was with Batgirl. And that explains why Dove is completely different. So at the end of season 2, the multiverse event happened. With whatever. Okay? Yeah. And then it all fixed itself. Okay? There we go. I fixed it. Yay. Now it doesn't matter. There can be continuity errors. I really want them to change the guy acting as Batman. Jason did say Bruce and the Justice League. Alfred died between season 1 and season 2. Uh-huh. Now we need an Infinite Crisis to change more stuff. Well, fixed it a little. Yay. K-Wing, do you think they will show how Jason got resurrected? They better. That's kind of a big thing, isn't it? Or are they just going to do an off-screen resurrection the way they did an off-screen Joker death? Because of the Suicide Squad movie, do you want to see the best Robin of all appear in Titans? Jarro? I don't know. K-Wing, I think Alfred was in Nightwing's nightmare that led into season 2. I don't remember Alfred being in the nightmare. They must cast Mark Hamill. For what? Yes, Joker cut off her leg in this universe. He shot her and he cut off her leg and tried to kill her. What are your thoughts on Gotham Knights? No thoughts right now. More on that later. All right, so we good? I think we had a fun little podcast. I have to go do some other stuff. I have to eat again and do some other things. Yes, I saw Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. Do you think they'll eventually use Damian? I don't know, Joe. Maybe. Dawn mentioned Alfred was dead in Dick Grayson's nightmare scene. Yeah, but he was also married to Dawn in that scene. He cut off her leg because people were saying she could use the exosuit from Crisis. Wow, you guys are fun. All right, so you guys have a Batman video tomorrow on Batman 89 Chapter 1 with Arkham footage. Woo! Keaton Arkham footage. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. I had fun doing this recap. Next recap will not be as long as this because we went through 3 episodes in 2.5 hours. So thank you for the super chats. Thank you for your company. And I will see you guys with a Batman 89 video tomorrow. All right. Thanks so much, people. Have a wonderful night. And that concludes your streams for the night. Ace Attorney is tomorrow at 4. Mario and Luigi is 6. And Xenoblade is tomorrow. And on this channel is Batman 89 Chapter 1. Which is like a 9-minute video. It's not very long because not a lot happened in that book. Also, I'm kind of confused when the book takes place because Batman has gray hair. He didn't have gray hair in 1989. So I don't know if it's like a 20-year later thing or if it's supposed to be like immediately after Batman Returns, or it takes place before Batman Returns. They didn't do a really good job of setting up when it takes place. So I did the best I could. I think I said it took place later because Batman has gray hair now. I don't know. But take care, everybody. I hope you enjoy the video. And thanks so much for watching my podcast. We topped out at close to 400 people. and we had about 240 people at the end of the night. So you guys rock. Later.